G'day and welcome to Season 3, welcome to LPL Pro and it's Rainbow Six Siege night. My name is Matt Smite Ross, this handsome man here is Cthulu, and the only reason we're here is thanks to WD Black because they've got the best SSDs in town and they are supporting the show tonight. And Cthulu, we're in week number 5 of the round robin so far. We're almost in the playoffs.
Almost in the playoffs, yeah. We had some bangers of matchups, some very unexpected scorelines as well, and some of the teams that really were almost that close to get themselves some points, but unfortunately didn't really happen.
Well, we'll get to all of that in just a moment, but let's first refresh everyone how things work around here, because the format is as such. It is a round robin before we get into the playoffs, and we've got 8 teams, so it's going to take 7 weeks to get through all of them as they play each other once, and each match will be a best of 2, so we're almost finished all of that. And once we finish up these last 2 weeks of the round robin, then we take the top 4 teams and we head over to the playoffs. And what will they be competing for in the playoffs, Cthulhu?
Well, you see, Smite, there is quite a hefty amount of money on the line as well. Namely, for the first places, they are going to be battling it for the for $3,000 redos. Second place, $1,000, and then third and fourth place will be battling it out for the $500. So still quite a hefty amount of money, but yeah, pretty much all of the 4 teams that will be able to make it to the playoffs will be essentially battling it out for that first spot. And the bragging rights as well.
Yeah, a little extra incentive to make it into the playoffs, but as a little extra incentive for individual players, well, we've got the Vodafone Mvp Award for that one. This one is for, well, the most valuable player at the end of every season throughout all LPL Pro broadcasts. And so for Rainbow Six, we're going to be taking the best player in the teams, you know, whoever gets the best plants done, you know, who can always get in there. Maybe you can always rely on them to retake a site, you know, the best teammate to ever have, and they'll walk away with $250 at the end of the season. So, like I said, bit of incentive for the players to shine a little bit individually. But Cthulhu, there is more. There is one more way that players can earn some cash and some prizes, and that's the Red Bull fan vote. This one, personal favorite of mine, because you guys at home can get involved as well. So jump into the chat, !vote to find out how to do it, because the players with the 4 most votes at the end of the season will be walking away with, get this, $500 cash, a year's supply of Red Bull, and a Red Bull fridge to put it all in. Well, hopefully, maybe not all at once, but you know, that's some pretty sweet stuff, but the best part is you guys can win too, right, Cthulhu?
Yes, definitely. You also can win out a year's worth of supply of Red Bull, all just because of voting, really. And
that's what 4 people.
4 people can really get the chance of doing that, which is pretty sweet. And well, I mean, year worth of supply, that is pretty sweet. Smite, and I mean, we already got quite some Red Bull as well.
Oh, look, you can be as pumped up as this guy. Listen to him, right? But of course, there is more as well. But before we move off Red Bull, remember, vote in the chat to find out how to do it. You can score yourself some free Red Bull. But we've also partnered up with the Esports Assessment Lab as well. This is a neat little program you can do. It really jumps into the brain science of esports, right? That's the best way to put it, because you can get in there and you can find out how your own brain works when you're playing esports games. Not just Rainbow Six, any game. You can find out where you're not so good, where maybe you need to work on, but also where you're pretty good and stand out against other players. So use !EAL in chat to find out more about that. And you can use our code LPL Gaming in all caps, no spaces, as the code to try it out for free. So go ahead, give it a go. See if you're smarter than me, or you're probably smarter than this guy. But go give it a go and then brag about it to your mates. Now, Cthulhu, week number 5. We've only got a few more weeks left of this whole round robin shindig to go. But let's take a little trip down memory lane and see what happened last week, because we've really tidied up the leaderboard by now.
Yeah, we actually managed to find ourselves the top team that is currently sitting quite comfortably on the first place. That is the Rufflecopter, and they managed to show us some pretty convincing gameplay as well.
Yeah, I mean, look, they got in there and we said, look, they had to get this match done, and then there shouldn't be too many more questions about who deserves that top spot. They got in there, they did this match pretty well. PC419, they really did need to win this match. It was the battle for first place. However, PC419 are still in the top 4, but once we get to the leaderboard, you'll see why that's not so secure as you might think. But yeah, look, Rufflecopter, I think they've really got in there, and if anyone had any questions, I think they're answered now. It's just about them tidying up the rest of the round robin.
Yeah, that's going to be the main thing for them. Just keeping it as stable for themselves as it can possibly be. And they have a few of very interesting matchups today. Today's matchup as well included. So yeah, OJ did a phenomenal job. Rigby as well, the recent addition to Rufflecopter's roster as well, has been doing pretty well overall. And well, Deptra, you're about to see why he is considered one of the top players of that roster as well.
Yeah, I mean, Deptra took a few weeks to really start getting going, but he definitely got going in this week. He really stood up, but the best part is his teammates stood up as well, so they really looked on fire.
Yeah, well, talking about fire, Skyfire were able to bring one as well to Exto, as it was quite a jam by them, really. They managed to take it out, I believe, 2-0 against Exto, and it was a bit of a grudge match, but unfortunately for Exto, they couldn't really pull out a dub. Although, out of all of that whole matchup, Dark was probably one of the biggest MVPs, given the fact that he was the biggest, the top fragger, pretty much, of Exto.
Dark was absolutely crazy in that series. I thought it was going to be the reason that maybe, we get an even tighter battle for that top 4, but the results of it are pretty crazy. It's, again, Skyfire kicking Exto out. This happened last season in the round robin as well. I mean, the crazy part is Skyfire were playing super aggressively throughout that series too, so really getting back to their roots a little bit as well. So I think we've really shaped out pretty much the rest of the season. It's really just going to be who's going to show up and who's going to surprise us.
Yes, well, that does also set us up with a very interesting leaderboard that, like I mentioned before, puts Rufflecopter right at the top with 10 points, and we have a 3-way tie between the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place. That is PC419, Ferox, and Skyfire, surprisingly enough, actually sitting on just about the same scoreline as well, because previously we did have, I believe, PC419, Ferox set on 5-2, or 5-2 or 5-1.
So last week I think Skyfire was 2 points behind.
2 points behind, but I'm more so saying that one of the teams was able to achieve the same amount of wins, but just not as the same amount of losses.
Oh, I see.
It's more so that, but still, yeah, that does put us at a pretty interesting setup and a few potential storylines close to the end of the round robin do for Mvp.
Yeah, and speaking of the end of the round robin, the end of the leaderboard, you look over there, you got 3 teams who could be in contention for that relegation. Elemental, Vance, and ShadowNet's kind of, well, let's be real, they've kind of locked their spot in for the relegation at this point, unless something crazy happens, but even then, I think it's still mathematically impossible. Then Vance and Elemental, though, one of them has to go to relegation.
And both of these teams were able to show us some very impressive gameplay, gotta say. Bans, namely, they were able to prove us that they can stay out of the relegation throughout Season 2 as well. And this time, it is going to be a much bigger challenge for them to really stay out of the relegation. So, certainly quite a few things need to happen in their favor so that they would get out of their 7th spot as well.
Yeah, so you're looking at it as well, the story about Exto trying to sneak into the top 4. Well, I think we might be able to answer that without today's matches, Cthulhu, because, well, they do get to play. I think the first match is going to be probably the most important one here, because, I mean, it's going to really decide whether it's going to be Rufflecopter just remaining at the top and just leaving no questions, or is Ferox going to come in and steal it away? They need the 2-0 to just even tie with Rufflecopter, but, I mean, hey, look, that's always totally cool. You can tie first place.
Yeah, that's exactly going to be pretty much the whole story of the first matchup. For Rufflecopter, they wouldn't even, well, theoretically care, really, if they would even lose a single map here against Ferox. Even if they do play for a draw, they still keep themselves a very tight and a very secured position on the first place. For Ferox, that means they just break the tiebreaker and get themselves the 2nd place, at least by the end of tonight. So, a few questions could be asked and answered here, but all still kind of in that hung-up state here.
Yeah, and then just to touch on the second match kind of quickly, it's ShadowNet versus Exto. This one, I mean, it should go the way of Exto, right? They desperately do need that 2-0 to once again crack into that top 4. ShadowNet, I mean, they're basically playing spoiler at this point, but I'm sure they'd love to, secure a series. They've come so close to winning some of the maps they really shouldn't have been predicted to win, but they came close, and I think.
Yes.
Maybe Exto is where they can sneak back in, but we'll get to that later. We've got to jump into this first match because it is our Titans at the top, and it's also going to be Ferox challenging them right there as well. So let's get into this one here. Ferox, these guys, have had some mixed results in seasons before, but this one, it's so far looking alright.
Yeah, it's so far looking alright. Still a little bit of a rough season for them, even comparative to what we saw them perform in Season 2. This time we do see them play it out against current top 1 team, that is Rufflecopter, and we do also have the confirmation that there will be a stand-in in place of Sushi, that is going to be Repix coming around, who did actually perform pretty well in the fragger position previously.
Yeah, no, Repix was great mechanically. The thing is, though, you're taking out Sushi, who could be a key part of the team.
That is true.
In terms of strategy and leadership. So we'll have to see how it does turn out. Because Repix, mechanically was great, but looking at their opponents, right, it's a tough match. This is one they have to really try their best to take a win. It's Rufflecopter GG. I mean, look, we were talking about it before, Deptra starting to really shine throughout these final weeks of the round robin.
Yeah, Deptra has been an absolutely phenomenal player. Him and Campo in combination together, plus Boydie sometimes to add and to spice things up. Those 3 players are absolutely nuts for Rufflecopter. Rigbuzz as well, he has been absolutely amazing on a fair few rounds that he did manage to shine. As a Zoff player for the team, he was absolutely stunning.
Yeah, and then also shout out to OJ as well, who's definitely a good, support player for the team as well, holding them together too. But yeah, look, the thing is, we're saying Deptra's just starting to shine now, but Campo and Boydie, I think they've been shining almost the whole way through.
Pretty much, yeah. Campo has been probably the main attraction really throughout the first few games that we saw Rufflecopter perform. He was the one who was always everywhere but nowhere, like I kept on saying. He was the guy who would be roaming pretty much throughout the whole map and scoring some very gnarly kills as well.
Yeah, and then we have to take a little bit more of an individual look here in our key player matchup today, because remember, it's not just the teams, it's the individuals as well. So, Camper, and whoa, what happened to Oda's hair? Oda lost all his hair, it's all gone to his chin.
Yeah, all gone to his chin, and Upon decided to go for a little bit of a cheeky photobomb there instead of Oda, but nonetheless, yeah.
Campo versus Oda.
Campo versus
ignore
Oda.
the face.
And ignore the face, definitely, yeah. Campo versus Oda is certainly going to be a very entertaining idea, just because both these players are absolutely nuts, absolutely phenomenal, and I genuinely think that those 2 players, put them in a 1v1, they can be, they are so powerful, both of them, that they might just be able to split the whole universe apart.
Yeah, well, maybe we shouldn't do that. I kind of like the universe, but look, there's only one way to find out whether that's going to happen, but before we do jump into the match, we do have to look at the maps we're going to be going to as well. So let's bring those up. And oh boy, we've seen these maps so much. Clubhouse and Oregon. So it's going to be Ferox to pick up Clubhouse first. And then, of course, Rufflecopter will be grabbing Oregon. So let's talk Clubhouse first, Cthulhu. Why would Ferox pick this one up?
Look, Ferox did play a fair few times on Clubhouse. They did prove themselves that they are quite a powerful team there. But the issue is that Rufflecopter are also very powerful on that map, as well as Oregon. But just as we say that, well, we're just about to find out who is actually the better team on Clubhouse as we're jumping straight into the game, as it's going to be Rufflecopter who will be defending first. First ban of the day as well, going to be going down to them, and that is going to be Maverick to be banned out. The man will not be seeing any play today, even after recent exposure to some of his newest tricks in game, but alas, yeah, that's not happening, at least just yet. Secondary ban, I'm assuming it's going to be either Capitao or maybe a Thatcher, because those 2 operators were probably the most frequently banned as of recently. But yeah, there we go. Capitao will be banned out, so no more of the cheeky from the garage bandit trick denials will be in place here.
And now for the defenders to ban. So, Maverick being taken off the table is always interesting, but on the defensive side, I think someone that throws it completely out of the way is a Kaid ban, right? Especially when you're going into the church side, right? I mean, those hatches are so important. Valkyrie, you don't often see this one taken out on Clubhouse, just in favor of other things.
Yeah, thing is though, with Valkyrie, if you play her very frequently, if you know all her ins and outs and how to actually play her, you can be an absolute menace to really play against, really. So Valkyrie ban kind of makes sense here, and to kind of sum it all up, a Mira ban as well, seeming just about all right, all good. But yeah, I'm curious how will this matchup really unravel, because last time, well, one of the last few times we saw Ferox play, when they had Warden as a stand-in for Sushi, let's just say that was a very odd matchup.
Look, at one point, I think it was gym and bedroom they were defending, and they were like miles ahead in the garage, like more than half the team at one point. So that only happened one round, so it's not like the whole game was like that. But it was things like that that kind of threw the match off a little bit. So maybe it's something creative coming out from Ferox, and I'm not going to downplay it. Maybe it even shows up today, but for sure, maybe it was a little bit of an off week. Well, maybe we can put it like that.
Yeah, we'll for now we'll write it off as a bit of an off week there for Ferox. Maybe they shall prove us completely differently here. Looking at the lineup of Rufflecopter for their defense, the only thing that really stands out is the fact that they are bringing a two-man trap meta, which is the Legion and the Capcan, with Rigby bringing in the Spetsnaz operator. And the cool thing here is that theoretically this combination could work, because whilst you are focusing on trying to, say, either get rid of the Legion mines or the Capcan traps, you'll run into the opposite one, really. So here it's more so, I'm assuming, the Capcan traps are there to just kind of play for distraction.
Yeah, no, because I mean, at this level, right, you're just gonna hear the shots when they get taken out.
Exactly.
I mean, you even saw him putting them on like literally entrances to the building. So, most people are not gonna be tripped up by that. But the information it gives is gonna be so nice. So, in comes Repix first. He's just gonna take out the cams and be droned ahead for now. Obviously, he's looking for these frags. We know that Rufflecopter do like to occasionally run someone up around here. The Claymore's gonna be there to, again, either get a kill or give him information if anyone flanks him.
Yeah, that's the main thing. The issue here is that for Repix right now, this is not going to be a particularly good positioning unless one of the defenders would have bailed out like they did right now. But if there would have been contention directly right on the stairs, the defenders would have had a much better positioning, at least partially there. But thankfully for defense, they just bailed away. They do have an opening in the dirt tunnel that they will need to consist, but Deptre is already sitting there and just waiting for the push to happen. Here now, the engagement between Campo and Repix, now this is going to be the big one, because both of these players are amazing fraggers, so it's more so who can nail the shots better.
Yeah, well, Repix is trying to go for some pre-fires. He's still got his drone right there, which hasn't been taken out just yet. So he's even able to ping out some of the traps that are set up around too. So he's got all the information he needs. It's now just about nailing those shots or pulling in someone to help him out. But Oda is going to be the one to pull out first blood against OJ. There's the first impact trick going out. Did it succeed? It did. So first hatch breach denied.
Yeah, there we go. Quick and easy breach is going to happen. Oh, Woody takes quite some damage for all the trouble. Tell me he got it. And he didn't get it at all, so that's a fairly fast breach here for Ferox, but they've already drained 2 minutes whilst trying to do that. At the very least, they do have another avenue to push, that is the blue tunnel now, as well as the blue hatch and the dirt tunnel. So even if kitchen hatch would have never gotten opened, not a whole lot of things would have been lost.
Campo is in a bit of a risky spot here on that Jaeger. Now with that hatch open above him, Rigby, he should be super safe all the way back here, just basically watching for any sort of drop downs coming out. He's got the holes above the wall for any easy C4s. He'll only catch a drone if he does it now, but he'll probably hold on to it, as looking for a bit more value than that. Boydie just hanging out on such low health, but we've got 25 seconds, so it's do or die time, and they've just had Deptre die. This is all in Ferox's favor now. That dirt tunnel demands attention, and there's a plant happening, by the way, and they're running around trying to find where it's going down. Shade is looking for it, but Oda is still on a rampage. The plant is down. Can he get the ace as well? He's dropped one more, but it's Todd and Repix to bring a few back, but there it is. The flawless round. What an opening coming out.
Ferox coming in huge there for themselves, really. Kicking things off very quickly. And Oda getting a triple kill off that hatch is certainly a way to wake up Rufflecopter, to get them just to stay frosty, really. Because it seems that Ferox are pretty serious about maybe getting themselves a cheeky dub here and overthrowing the dictatorship of Rufflecopter right now that is currently established on a leaderboard. But yeah, that is a very solid beginning. Now they need to just do that 6 more times.
Just 6 more times.
Just
right?
6 more times.
But hey, they've got a few rounds leeway to go for it, and they've built themselves that 1 round lead, so they'll be a little more comfortable for it, which should be good.
Protect your bombs from being defused.
But here we go, round number 2. And where are we going to be? It's going to be CCTV, an old favorite of mine. course, all about this garage control. You're going to have very likely, what have they got? They've got Rigbo and Wamai, so he'll likely be sitting up there in the rafters with a pile of magnets, maybe one or two ADS as well. You can already see one sitting there, so he'll be well protected. Very important line of sight.
Now I'm curious whereabouts will Woody put down his Maestro Evil Eyes, because usually those get taken out pretty quickly. So one goes onto the rafter stairs. I'm assuming the other one will go into CCTV, but where in CCTV will he position it? That is the other question, which is looking like it's just going to be fairly hidden. So the good thing here about that camera is that it shouldn't get taken down too early into the game, and that should provide some information when the plant will go down.
And it covers two like very common planting spots as well. The one right where OJ is standing, like just to his left.
By the breach.
Yeah, by the breach, because it's like only two angles you have to look for. And then obviously the one right by the bomb itself, coming in from the garage. So some common sites protected with the Evil Eye. A lot of intel he's going to be able to get, and plus, like you said, pretty hard to take out on its own. So here we go, trying to get the wall open. Here on CCTV, it's going to be this little dance behind OJ. But no one's going to be playing around under his feet because Campo's looking after him.
Yeah, Campo right now needs to really stay alive, because it seems that right now it's just a game of just toying around with their prey and just trying to essentially figure it out. Oda is actually surprisingly
really
has pushed up to construction and could have actually played for the mistakes. Nazgul's actually, funnily enough, has decided to rotate over and already took some damage from the engagement with, I'm assuming, Rigba. But right now, OJ could be actually causing a few of the issues. There's the EMPs coming around, and, well, the plant of the Selma charge will actually be unsuccessful. Fantastic play.
Good.
And Campo still gets to play downstairs, so all the disruption is going to be there, and Nazgul can't really do anything about it.
Yeah, did we go through just one Selma charge on that one?
Just one, I believe, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so they still have a way to open up the CCTV door, but oh man, losing that one and not even getting any holes open. Sometimes you get like one part of the Selma and then you can look in, but here we go, Boydie. He's now moving forward.
Oh man, I think he just missed the cross as well of Oda, who could just punish him very quickly, but no, neither one of the players will be connecting any shots. But right now, already, again, just about 2 minutes drained, and well, there's an attempt at the impact trick, but flashbangs instead will be flying in, and Oda took some damage. So in a further gunfights, this could be an issue, but right now, Boydie is still playing in a very safe position, because the breach on the CCTV wall has not happened, courtesy of your man OJ.
Oh, but it's getting... Oh, okay, there goes. Another deny coming out from Boydie. Ferox just have no way into the side at all at the moment. They've just denied everything. Is it going to be another one? No, they get at least one charge open, but they can't crawl through that. It's up in the air. And now OJ can just fall back and... Okay, there it is. The next one's now open. It's full open. So they can crawl through that one if they want to. But there it goes. The smoke's coming out, and Deptra will pick that one up. Ferox, they haven't had any way in for such a long time. It's now or never. The pistol up burst from Shade. He's now close to the side, but he's got to get in. But there it is. That's OJ down. That's a window back in. But speaking of windows, they've got to get in right now. But oh my god, Ferox have killed everyone. Oda's got a nade kill. Campo's been hunted down. And there goes the last one too. Ferox, it looked like you couldn't get in 10 seconds ago. What happened?
Ferox just seeming to be completely activated right now. Well, all the efforts of OJ to prevent the breach for so long seem to have gone in vain, because neither Campo nor the rest of the Rufflecopter roster were able to really find a frag for themselves. And yeah, look, right now this is looking like Ferox is definitely keen on getting themselves at least some points on the board, because, well, that was quite an interesting comeback throughout the whole round, because pretty much 90% of the round, Rufflecopter were in full control. Yeah, and the general momentum.
Yeah, all the doors still stayed shut. Everything's still electrified. Boydie had such a sweet position. But then all of a sudden, I think a lot of it comes down to Oda as well. He got a really good nade kill, a really important one as well. So again, always a play you've got to look out for. They might have kept them outside, but Ferox still had everyone. So they still had 5 people to make that one work. Oh, Campo, that was a little close.
It was slightly a little bit too close. That is a cheeky way to hide the ADS as well.
Was it in the bucket?
Yeah, it was in the broken bucket in the debris, which should be a little bit harder to spot, but clients at debris, they do be kind of treacherous sometimes. But all negative thoughts aside, setup that Rufflecopter been running is actually pretty good. They have decided to make a switch from a smoke to a mute, which is a little bit interesting, given that bodies Evil Eyes, at least to my knowledge, haven't really done a whole lot of things. But hey, maybe there was something that we didn't see via the spectator view, but otherwise, there is already a breach happening in the garage side, where Nazgul will be only using a single bit, just to find a cutoff point for anyone that is sitting in the rafters. And for now, it just means that Campo might need to keep an eye out for a bit more of the angles, because right now there's also about to be a push at the billiards table.
Yeah, so Campo may have to bail out of here pretty soon. They've also left a hole in this door here, so you got Ferox constantly checking this one for runouts or even just peeks from it too. Rigber, look at this little cheeky nonsense here he's doing. Trying to use the attacker's holes against them, but nothing from it, but at least it was completely risk-free. He managed to get out of there nice and alive. Now Nazgul, he's playing with fire here as well. He's in a line of sight that could be dangerous any second, and now with his shots, position given away, but he can just jump off and still stay safe.
Yeah, just it seems that Rufflecopter right now just keep on poking around, playing a little bit more of an aggressive game comparative to what we saw in round number 2. OJ's life is about to get a whole lot tougher because another EMP grenade does go in, and well, to no avail. The breach will be completely denied, and both of the actually summer charges will be done. So only one more remaining, and it seems that right now OG is just unbeatable in that game of just jiggling things around, because there's also, funnily enough, a mute jammer set up just to ensure some extra protection, I suppose.
Yeah, probably the reason that Mute decided to pop on out as well, but here we go into it. There's not much time left either, and yeah, there's been some problems with Ferox trying to get in again, but we saw that didn't stop them too much last time. They had 4 or 5 people last time as well, and that certainly helped them. They've got it again, Cthulhu, so maybe they should be all good, even though they've been shut out so hard. Boydie is a little low, so maybe even a close nade could take him out.
Yeah, possibly. A close nade or even just a semi-cooked grenade could really get rid of him. With Rejects already getting rid of Boydie, though, with the bullets instead, is still going to be making things a whole lot easier. Rigba's play here is certainly going to be putting a little bit more pressure onto Ferox, given that Shade is now off out of the equation with the AK-12 no longer being able to fire. So right now for Ferox, this is going to be a little bit tougher because there's a little bit less of the positions that they can go through. Odo already getting taken down by Deptra as well on the roam, which is quite unusual. So now in a 3v4, it seems that Rufflecopter might just be able to win out the round, but we've seen already a comeback previously from Ferox.
Oh, but it's still tight. As you can see, Todd runs in straight to his death. Nazgul with the diffuser too. Needs to win the swing, but he doesn't. OJ, the legend, is still alive. Can he keep him against Repix? It looks like he can get the job done. OJ gets the first one on the board for Rufflecopter.
OJ doing some God's work there for his team and being able to really bring it back finally on round number 3. Will be able to indeed score his team the point. And now they're finally on board points-wise. From here on, it's still going to be an uphill battle for Rufflecopter, given that they still need to find another point to draw out the round count. But it feels like they are finally almost waking up. After the first 2 rounds being more so of just them kind of snoozing around and almost allowing to get the job done, this time they finally decided, yeah, you know what? I think it's time for us to stop pressing the snooze button.
Well, it worked. They got a point on the board finally. Big shout out to OJ during that. Not only saving the round at the end, but also throughout all of his bandit tricking today. It's possibly been, you know, I just want to get it out there, is that probably the best bandit tricking performance we've seen this season. Particularly on the CCTV, because I mean, I keep talking it up, and then you know the attackers just get around it perfectly fine. But this time it's OJ stopping it and making it work. We're back down to Church and Arsenal, so this is the same start as round 1. And Ferox, well, I think it was their easiest round that they took.
Yeah. Look, here, against an ace, this is a really good performance from Rufflecopter. That is probably the biggest achievement, really, because given how it feels like Ace's fuse is a little bit shorter than the... Oh, that's a nice catch there by Rico. But yeah, the fuse of the Ace Selma charges are definitely, they feel shorter. So
doing that against them, very nicely done, OJ.
Yeah, adaptability, being used to the changes through patches. Very important skill.
Intro for OJ is Bear Grylls IRL.
Yeah, that's exactly
Master
what
of
it is.
adaptation.
Nah, he's Charles Darwin. He's evolved.
Oh yeah. Oh.
He's gotten used to his environment.
All right. Well, let's see how they adapt to this environment, because last time they've defended Church, Oda was able to get a 3K off the hatch. So, if anything, Rufflecopter needs to be very wary about trying to get rid of that breach in the kitchen hatch for as long as possible. Although, I would expect that they don't really have a whole lot of economy to really play around with the impact tricking like they had with Bandit. So, as long as they get rid of, say, maybe repicks and get off that whole pressure train on the blue stairs, they should breathe easy.
Just chuck a C4 up there. You got the Mozzie.
True. You do have a Mozzie, you do have even the smoke grenades you could toy around with that fact, and Boydie could potentially also bring in the C4s, so there's a few ways around it.
Actually pinged out a C4 as well on the floor, and so able to deny that pretty easily, that pre-placed one, so that one's not going to be a free kill for Rufflecopter. They're going to have to work to get every one of their kills so far. And here we go, onto the stairs, but it's all going to be about the hatches. The moto one going to be nice and easy to open it up nice and early, but this is the big boy, the kitchen hatch. We want to get this one open, and we want to get it open without any naughty impact tricks. They're just going to force him away. Oh, they almost got OJ, but not able to nail the kill, but it might get the hatch open. Boydie almost getting his own one onto Oda. He's still sticking around here. He's got the impact already. Doesn't deny it, though.
Doesn't deny it at all. Boydie, oh, one more attempt, but just can't run away, and the coconut to follow through as well. Oda is just being absolutely on fire right now, being able to find that frag, and that is a huge beginning here for Ferox's push, even though Campo was able to reclaim the blue stairs, and actually keep up with the fragging, but Shade has also managed to find a kill onto Depth Train. That is now going to put quite a dent into the defense of Rufflecopter.
Yeah, we're waiting though for Campo to really come out and make some magic happen. That quick little run out will be the first part of that one, and now he's going to wait around, demand attention as Ferox. They have to go in, and they're going for the plant though. This should be a successful one once Nazgul gets it up, and then we get the fight going. Oda takes some damage and still is alive somehow. It's from a Legion line, so he can rip that one out, but there's a diffuser, and they've lost the first defense. They've lost Shade. Nazgul also still somehow alive though, but here's Campo just from above. He drops right on down, takes them out, and here we go, Cthulhu. Let's tie up Clubhouse.
Triple kill for Rigby as well. In a post-plan situation with the Peter and Roni is a really good performance. Very nicely done. Props to him and Campo as well for some phenomenal flank routes as well. So Rufflecopter, like you said, pushing us into a draw between the two teams right now with a 2-apiece scoreline is certainly seeming like it's a solid beginning here for both of these teams. Now they are both warmed up, ready to roll. Gym Bedroom is going to be the next site to play it out now that CCTV and Church were already won out by Rufflecopter. And now comes the bigger question as to who will be able to take charge in the points lead between these two teams in the first half, because this could potentially dictate as well what could be the end result of the first half, whether it's going to be a 3-apiece or 4-2. These next two rounds will pretty much be the decider of that.
Okay, to the gym in the bedroom. We do go. This has definitely been one of the more interesting sides when we see Ferox on it, but with Rufflecopter now on the defense, you look at their lineup, things look pretty standard. The alibi to maybe throw a little bit of trickery and a little bit of mess into the mix, but other than that, standard looking lineup. You got Castle showing up as he always does on this site too. So it's up to Ferox to come in here and try and find a way in with their lineup. They're bringing the Thermite now rather than the Ace. What do you make of that one?
I'm thinking it's more so just for the size of the hole that the charges can really puncture. Because with Ace, for you to now get the walking hole, you need 2 of the Selma charges. Whereas with Thermite, just place a single one, make sure that the Bandit doesn't trick you out, and well, you're in a solid. So apart from that, there might be some bandit, or rather not bandit tricking, impact tricking happening. So we might be seeing some of that.
But it seems that right now Ferox are just going to be using Nazgul's X-Kairos to really get some breaching going before even planning to use Thermite. And the Thermite charges will potentially just go on to either breaching, well, firstly breaching the Jacuzzi wall, and second one will be potentially the Showers wall.
Yeah, and I wonder if Nazgul's going to stick around. You can still see he's over on the other side of the map, but he might be running over to the rest of his team after the first charges go out. But here's the first big hole that Shade's now got open. And he's actually just going to go straight back up onto the roof and try to maybe get one while repelling. You've also got Oda all the way up here from downtown as well. Ferox are creating angles all over the place. And so Rufflecopter might be starting to feel a little closed in, but here's Campo. He's not closed in at all. He's at like level 1 lockdown.
Well, he is from New Zealand as well, so
that's obviously
suitable for the man. But yeah, look, right now he will be the main issue here for Ferox to deal with. And what I like about the way how Ferox playing is that they always open themselves up for plan B all the way to Z, really, opening up as many places to peek from as possible, comparative to some of the other teams that decide to just almost well, yell that, hey, we're gonna go through here and only here because we haven't done any other breaching. But it seems that right now for Ferox, they're pretty dead set about going through the Jacuzzi wall, and Woody as well as Campo are looking for the opportunities here, same as Deptra, who's currently got a very nasty peak point, which I don't think will be spotted initially, but the moment the shots are gonna start flying in, this is where either he or Ferox could get punished.
That's such a long run though to make if you don't find anything. Ooh. But oh, that's an even longer run back from the grave for both Boydie and Rigba. This is now 2 defenders down. You've also got, I think it was Deptra running all the way back. Campo's been maybe caught out too, just off the side as well. Couldn't quite make it back, but will find his own kill. Can he get back inside? Safe and sound. It looks like he's got a drone to take care of first. Oh man, we've all been through that before. Not able to close on the drone, but Deptra closes onto Nazgul and the diffuser as well, which is sitting right outside. Oh, Campo has brought another one back. Are Rufflecopter really going to save this round? There's only 20 seconds to go. Shade's evened it up. Campo, he's waiting to see which side he's going to turn up on. Is it going to be the left or is it going to be the right? It is going to be the middle because we don't know what's going on.
A connection has betrayed us for a little bit, but now it's all down to Shade to try to clutch this out. Bit of a peekaboo game here between himself and Campo just decides to just clutch it out with a pistol as Rufflecopter do come out victorious on this one. But that was a turnaround and a half that they've pulled off, given the fact that the first blood was done by Ferox.
Yeah, we lost 2 defenders very quickly once things started getting rolling there, but then Campo says, no worries, guys. Get in the backpack. I'll carry us over the finish line. Manages to do it. I mean, it was so good it broke the camera at one point, right? Yeah. You know? So, now they're in the lead. They're close to closing out a 4 and 2 half. That would be fantastic for them. But Ferox, don't forget how quickly they were on the attack. Back in round 1, right? They had such a massive round. But also remember, that was a while ago. We've had 3 rounds in a row for now. For Ferox.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Yeah. For Rufflecopter, yeah, being on a 3-round streak, that is a good way for them to ramp up their momentum, especially with the fact that they are currently on their defense, and this is their chance to really break away with a 2-point lead. For Ferox right now, I mean, they managed to score themselves 2 points, so they are still going to be able to get a fairly competitive scoreline in the second half, although they will need to sweat a little bit more to get themselves back into the draw. But I reckon Rufflecopter has finally kind of figured themselves out. They managed to keep on draining the utility for quite a while, gotta say. I mean, if you look at that, you pointed out that previously in the last round. When the main push was about to happen, it was only 25, 23 seconds remaining. And that does say quite a fair bit, including the fact that it's just Rufflecopter has been able to drain out quite some time, even without the bandit, without a whole lot of well, technically utility support. Really, it went down to some really good angles that was set up by the defense.
Well, think about it. They didn't clear the biggest utility of all, which is Campo, the roamer. You know, he was still alive right at the end and could flank them, and you got to deal with it when it's 20 seconds to go and you haven't dealt with the flanker. That's your punishment. And so, with that, you can see what happens. Now, we're back here. As Repix is looking for a way inside. He's got Shade to back him up. They've kind of given up on the ace idea, which is, yeah, he's not showing up for a little while now. But Nazgul, he's just droning out, and Oda's looking to claim the stairs. Oda, he's been shouted out a little bit, but mostly a quiet one. He hasn't shown up in the highlights. Maybe here will be the first bit. He's looking for his first little peek. Doesn't send enough damage back, but there it is. Todd, his best buddy, will clean that one up.
Yeah, Todd assisting Oda is a good beginning here. Getting rid of Boydie, one of the rather bigger fraggers here, now ensures that there's going to be quite some pressure being applied onto the cache, because there's currently nobody playing in cache, just outside of a cache's depth chart. Campo is about to do some nasty things, I feel.
Yeah, he's itching for that run out. For now, we'll take a look at OJ as he's locked down on the side. But Todd smells a rat, and he knows that run out is a possibility. And there's a concussion onto OJ, of all people. Unfortunately, trying to do the tricking, and will he succeed? It looks like he's held on for now.
Yeah, the moment is just a bit of wasting the utility. It seems that Ferox has finally abandoned the idea of trying to breach in through the main wall, and instead it's going to be the push onto the cache and CCTV, well, rather cache room more so than CCTV, and this is going to be a good idea. With Shade already opening up onto OJ, the annoyance that was the bandit is finally out of the equation, but Campo, Deptra, and Rigba are still alive, and they still have some very powerful positions to play around.
No one's dealt with Campo again, so he's going to be able to run back in and flank again. It doesn't look like Ferox are committing to hunting him down right now. It looks like it's the site is all on their mind right now. Rigba's got the freedom now to run along the rafters entirely, as he knows that no one's really coming from that direction, but it's Campo that might be the problem, or maybe Deptra, as he gets one, knocks another, and Rigba from outside as well. Wow, are they doing it again, Cthulhu? Are Rufflecopter really just going to bring it back? Because there's only 20 seconds left, and Repix, he has to rush in straight to his doom. Shade, the only man left alive. Diffuser in no man's land, running up through the barbed wire. He knows his fate. So do you, so do I. Rufflecopter take another one and get a stellar half.
Oh man, a 4-2 scoreline with 4 rounds in a row by Rufflecopter. That is a phenomenal way to really kick things off there for themselves. The very first map. Now, I was talking to you prior to the beginning of the broadcast when we just saw the map bans, and it kind of had me concerned because, yes, while Clubhouse is one of the more picked maps for Ferox, it is also one of the freshly favorite picked maps of Rufflecopter. As well as that, the secondary map is going to be Oregon as well. That is, well, that's Rufflecopter's pop stomping ground.
It seems like people, the only reason it seems to show Clubhouse for Rufflecopter so much is people pick it against them all the time.
Yes.
And so they get a lot of on-stage practice, or, you know, in quotes, on-stage practice for this one. So,
Attackers need to
you know, that's quite valuable compared to scrims as well. You get to see kind of a unique look into what the teams do compared to how they practice. But now we flip the sides, and now we get to see if Rufflecopter can continue their dominance on the attacking side, or if Ferox can keep up. Remember, it's been 4 rounds since we've seen Ferox take one out, so could be that they'd be looking for it here on CCTV on their first round of defense.
Thing is, though, for Ferox, they do get the more favorable side now on the secondary half, and now that they were able initially to score themselves the 2 points, it won't be as bad as, say, 5-1 scoreline, where they kind of need to sweat it out for 3 rounds in a row before they get anything. So 2 rounds is very much achievable, especially for a team like Ferox. So I wouldn't be too worried just yet, but the possibility of them losing to pretty much a 6 or 7 round streak, that could be a very messy idea.
All right, so we've been talking pretty highly of Rufflecopter so far, but don't forget, Oda and Todd have been having some pretty sick games so far, some pretty great rounds, despite not picking them all up. So definitely still keep an eye out for them and what they can pull off, especially when they're now on the defense. Here comes the first breach, though. Wall not electrified, so it is just going to be one big old hole.
Yeah, now here's another interesting thing. Between Ferox and Rufflecopter, Rufflecopter actually went for an active tricking and breach denial. Ferox are awaiting for the breach to actually happen, and then to lure in the attackers to play for around that breach. So that is going to be a very interesting way to really play around, and I'm curious how will Rufflecopter actually deal with that setup, because like I mentioned before, these two teams have slightly different playstyles that definitely change the way how the whole round is played.
Well, Nazgul's got his line held down. The drone did just spot him, so his position definitely revealed at this point. But he's got his angle held down. He's got one of the biggest guns in the game, so he shouldn't have too much problems just holding it down unless they go for a pretty gnarly free fire. Deptra probably has a nade left at this point as well, so he could be in trouble. Nazgul will get Rigby though, but it's next one in the line to go down, but it is a trade as Nazgul loses his life. But here's that nade I was talking about. Doesn't go to Nazgul, but Deptra is the one that dies in the end anyway. Boydie shows up today, and with a minute left, it looks like maybe Rufflecopter can swing it again their way.
Yeah, Boydie once again on Thatcher, able to really bring in the heat. There's now a few gunfights that will need to be taken, and Shade is now holding a very powerful angle there, right at the breach, and Campo could be pinned down here, all things considered. But apart from that, really, Oda has still got a very powerful angle and a crossfire onto that door into Cash. So the push needs to happen very quickly and very swiftly if Rufflecopter wants to take control of Cash Room.
Yeah, the time to wait is over. The flash is now coming out, gonna try to force Shade out of position, but he can stick around. One more comes out, he can look away. A trade comes out in the background. It's a 2v2 for now. The last, surely, flashbang comes out. Oda with the line held down, gets one. Does he get the next one? He does, as Boydie falls. Ferox, they get back on the board, and they do it on defense as well.
Finally, there we go. Oda doing some phenomenal job there for the team once again. Being able to pretty much pull them out of the rut. And, well, only one round difference now. Like I said, it is very much doable for Ferox to return back to a draw between themselves and Rufflecopter. And for Rufflecopter, this looked like it was an alright round, but it was a little bit of a sloppy one. And, well, thanks to Boydie, they nearly made a comeback there.
I've got to say, though, Cthulhu, this is the kind of match that I was waiting for.
Yes.
Between teams that are sitting there. I mean, this is a battle of the top of the table. It is first versus second. There just happens to be 3 teams in second place. But regardless, though, it is still a great battle. It's awesome to see, especially Rufflecopter, the new team, even if they have a few familiar players coming in, being so dominant and still getting put to the test every week.
Honestly, this is, well, so far this is what I was expecting from when Rufflecopter were playing against PC419, and partially it was delivered. But PC419 unfortunately didn't have a really good run on the second map, at least from my memory. So that was quite an unfortunate outcome for them there. So we'll have to see how will the rest of this map unravel, because for what it's worth, Rufflecopter could really just run away with another 3 rounds in a row and we'll make it a 7-3, and I could just bite my tongue once again.
10 seconds to go.
Well, I mean, it's not like the last round was all that much of a stomp, right? It was very close. It came right down to the wire, so
True.
It does mean there is a chance that, you know, one team does win each round here and there, even if it is really, really close. So maybe we do see Rufflecopter win it out, but let's check it out. We've only seen them on 1 round of attack so far, but now they get to go down to the basement. We head over to Church and Arsenal, and this is one where, like we said, it's all about getting that hatch open, the kitchen one in particular. It's not like Rufflecopter have someone like Oda or Todd who are going to rain down the frags from above, though. They're going to rely on Deptra this time. And Deptra, he's been having a game.
Yeah, he was able to frag out on the rounds where it mattered the most, including, well, one of the few last ones as well. But here on round number 8, he will need to do quite a fair bit of pulling as well, I believe, because, well, they will need to do quite a fair bit of breaching as well, because there is a wild Oda plan on a Kaid, and, well, that could be shutting down pretty much most of the plans that Rufflecopter might have here for the vertical breaches.
Yeah, well, speaking of vertical breaches, we can at least open up the floor so we can flush out those pesky defenders and their annoying little impact grenades. Let us open the hatch, screams out Rufflecopter. And you've got Deptra, he sees his first victim, but doesn't quite get the damage, doesn't quite get any kills. But now they know that they're there, and Todd, he hunts him down, he sniffs him out. Knew exactly where he was.
I like how Todd just casually just walked up to that breach and like, you know what, I see your feet, I'm just gonna shoot them and you're gonna die, and I'm not gonna care a single thing.
You know what it looked like? It looked like Todd saying, this is where I stand when I do this. And he walked up and just found him exactly standing right there.
Yeah.
First impact out. Do we get the breach? It looks like it's denied. Rigby will have a few more where that came from, though. But yeah, that kill coming out, beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely gorgeous there.
Oh,
Todd, another attempt at the breach will be done. This time no impacts remaining, I believe.
Nobody will be able to run up. No, Todd might actually have it. No, just late by just about a half a second. And well, with the breach now open, it's now time to start popping heads as OJ's life is being forfeited. Now Shade is going to be the next person to try to do something about it, really, because right now, well, there's not a whole lot of things that can be done here by Rufflecopter's push, because Boydie and Campo are stuck in the dirt tunnel, and I believe Rigba is just about to go in for an attempt at pushing the kitchen hat.
Yeah, Shade finally out of gas grenades, has to fight all the old-fashioned way and can do it just fine. Boydie will fall. Only 2 attackers remain, and they're sitting right here in the kitchen. Rigba still able to try and drone, but it looks like it's going to be completely denied. And 20 seconds to go. Diffuser in hand, but it's all up to Rigba to drop down and get the plant done. Campo's going to have to do all the heavy lifting. But Rigba might be able to sneak in a kill or two. No, straight away taken down. Almost a little predictably. Just Campo remains, and he will fall as well. Take Shade out on the way, but Ferox, another round on the defense.
Yeah, with Ferox now being able to draw out the scoreline for themselves, this is certainly setting themselves up for potentially a cheeky dub, but maybe a little bit too early to call it. At the very least, I definitely think that we might be seeing an overtime kind of slowly creep up to us. With the fact that both of the teams now on a draw, it will take us quite a few rounds before we will know for sure. But apart from that, right now, the defense of Ferox feeling a little bit more, not fluid, but it feels like it's a little bit more reactive to what Rufflecopter are doing. Whereas when Rufflecopter were defending, they just were attempting to just stop them in their tracks right at the entrance to the building. And whenever that was failing, this is where kind of the chaos was starting to ensue.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
They're on the attack now. And Ferox so far, you know, they've been hanging back a little further. They do give Rufflecopter a little more stomping grounds inside, but Ferox do manage to nail the execution on the defense at that point. Nice and easy, right? They can fall back and say, we can, because we know it's going to work. We know it's very consistent.
Yeah, they're showing confidence in their peaks, as well as that they are playing for a whole lot more of the crossfires, I feel, comparative to what we saw from Rufflecopter. For Rufflecopter, they had some good solo fragging power occasionally. We did see Campo, namely, going for a few really good flanks, and same goes for Boydie as well. A few good attempts at really making a return on some of the scoreline. But apart from that, really, Rufflecopter has been looking a little bit lackluster on their offense, gotta say.
Yeah, just for now though. It's only been 2 rounds, and remember the first round on attack was actually kind of close, so maybe they can find a way to make it work here as we go to the shift in the bedroom. And Shade, he's hanging down pretty far away, so definitely going to be hunting him down at some point. But Rufflecopter trying to get inside at all at this point, right? And Ferox, they're not even that pushed up, so you've got Shade who can move forward, can move towards some of these sounds that are popping out, along with the call-outs from his team on, you know, where Ferox are. Where Rufflecopter are. He can move towards them.
Yeah. Here's an interesting thing as well. Usually that wall between Cash and CCTV gets left as a soft one to just have a few sightlines to play around. It seems like Ferox are not too particularly keen about that, and instead just planning to send 3-pointers across the hoops and everything, because Todd is feeling like he's Kobe right now.
I mean, this is a plan that either works really, really well or it works not at all. This one, though, is very, very similar. Deptra will get the kill onto Oda as the first defender will fall, but it's at the cost of Deptra's life. As you can see him fall down. Has Todd thrown that C4? Yeah, there it is. Perfect timing. But not for Todd, as Rigba will survive, and he'll be able to get in there.
Call the ambulance, but not for me.
Well, not for anyone yet. No one's hurt.
Yeah. Rigba is about to go in for the swing, and right now it seems that Todd has made a pretty good decision of just falling back, really, and just calling it, at least on that position. He already managed to drain quite a fair bit of time, plus the fact that they already managed to get rid of Deptra is a solid beginning overall, gotta say. And they still get to keep their roam of Shade, I believe, who's downstairs, exactly, yeah, with the C4, might add.
Yeah, he's got a great little position below. The C4 will not connect, but he can always peek on up into the site if he needs to. Yeah, well, it's still there. Boydie's still hanging out around outside as well, so he's got the stairs covered and that. one shield as well, but no one there to back him up. It's really going to be either, again, this is either going to work out really well for Boydie or not at all. And we're running out of time, Cthulhu. It might be one defender, make that 2 defenders down, but that is not a lot of time to make it work. 30 seconds though in a 4v3, I think maybe they can find it here. Deptra, no nades to make it work, but Todd gone. This is where it starts to really, really open up. Campo now opening up yet another window, and Shade trying to find his way in. Once these Vulcan flames do run out, he can move up there and start going for the flank, and he's going to need to. A pre-play C4, but he finds his first opponent, but it looks like he was the prey after all. And Rufflecopter, it looks like they can get it done on attack after all.
That was a really good bait, gotta say, by Rufflecopter, just to essentially wait for the moment they swing. They knew that there was a few pre-placed ideas and pre-placed strats by Ferox, but they were able to counter it pretty efficiently. So once again, we do see a repetition potentially of what happened in the first half, where the first 2 rounds were claimed by Ferox, and pretty much after that it was all a Rufflecopter show.
Well, I mean, if it goes like that again, then it would end up being a 7-4, right? So here we go, Rufflecopter. I'm sure they'd love to get it done again. We're going back to CCTV. We've got plenty of breaching. You've got the Thatcher as well, so that wall should get open. But we've seen some excellent bandit tricking throughout the night so far. And Oda, you know, he's been having a pretty good round so far, at least in the terms of frags. So keeping this wall shut should be on his mind. You're going to open up some of the soft bits so you can just hear it a little bit better.
Yeah.
And then also, you know, let that smoke eke out.
Yeah. Another thing is the fact that Oda actually swapped over from a Kaya to a Bandit. So now we do, for a fact now, that he will be attempting to go for an active Bandit tricking here. Could potentially throw in the spanner in the works of Rufflecopter, because they would probably be essentially expecting an easy breach, so might get a little bit careless. For Ferox though, this might play right into their hands, or maybe not really. We'll have to see how the first few breaches will really happen, because that opening in the soft wall as well will be ensuring that Rigby will be will have to rather be a little bit more focused about his gunfights.
Nazgul, he's really cutting it tight on this prep time. He gets his evil eye done. He's still going to place another one, by the way. He's still got one.
And he actually drops down to the ground floor to also pull back through the red stairs. So, yeah, that is definitely an odd setup, just because there's nobody on the rafters, funnily enough, and it's actually just Shade on the ground floor.
Yeah, actually, that's right.
That is a very strange one. Maybe just because he couldn't really make it in time, or maybe there's just different strat prepared there. Boydie and OJ, the dynamic duo of the third fighter and Thatcher, debated there, and that is actually one of the doors that will be opened up. So Zoftrick could also be in place here.
Yeah, the other thing you can do is you can actually just hold the EMP right next to the door, and it sounds like it's just been thrown over as well. It's a cool little trick that I learned actually a few days ago. So maybe trying to bait him out with that, really playing around with him, but of course things like that cost time, so you got to make sure it counts perfectly well. There's the concuss onto Oda. Can he still complete the trick? It looks like still gonna remain electrified, but he's got to watch out behind him as well, because Deptra is hunting his teammates down, as Nazgul will be the first on the fall. He's not going to be able to check Oda's back anymore.
Here's an interesting thing though. That was a really good attempt at just trying to deny the concussion grenade. And actually, Oda was able to be kept pretty safe, all thanks to Todd's efforts of just essentially body blocking that concussion grenade. So, very well done. Repix is still on a roam, and already a minute and 8 seconds remaining. So this is certainly going to make things a whole lot tougher for Rufflecopter. As well as that, the defender has been dropped right in the bedroom. Now Rigby needs to go hunting, as well as Boydie, and with the fact that now OJ is out of the equation, well, all the breaching is now down to Rigby.
Yeah, he just boosts it out of there. Refix keeps his life. Now he's on the site. He's perfectly stoked. He's bought all the time that his team should need, and now it's just to defend in the final moments here. As the next few X-Kyers come out, Rigby's still fully packed up with all of them. Can open up whatever he needs to, including these sidelines right onto the site here. As you can see, he's going in again, trying to open it up a little bit more. Repix really wants to keep this barrier up so he can keep the strong position. First few flashes now coming out. Those ADS should be all but out here. And the smokes are coming out too. Rigby wants to get in there eventually, but it's Deptra and Boydie holding the line. And just Repix and Todd to go. And there we go. The last few defenders fall. The plant doesn't even need to be finished. Rafflecopter, they are on a roll completely.
The moment they flooded the site, it was pretty much just about all over Red Rover there for Ferox, and they couldn't really do a whole lot of things. It's interesting to see how it seems to be like almost a game of chess between these two teams. The moment Ferox are trying to bring in something different, Rafflecopter are there to adjust for it. And the moment they adjust for it, they just seem to be completely unrelenting. They're not forgiving Ferox for any of the mistakes that the second place team have made. And well, there you go, already a 6-4 scoreline in favor of Rafflecopter, which could be setting themselves up for a really, really nice scoreline if they even just win a single map.
And we're back to where the map began, back to Church and Arsenal, but we've swapped the sides. And you've got Rafflecopter now on match point. But remember last time, well, the first time we were here, it was Ferox that took it on their attack incredibly quickly, incredibly smoothly. So now it's to see if Rafflecopter can do it the same. If they can do it just as quickly and flawlessly, it would be almost poetic.
That would be one way to really close it out, but either way, we'll find that out very quickly. Yet again, the same setup for Ferox, bringing in Oda on the Kaid to try to deny the hatches for as long as possible. And that does put us in a very interesting situation where we're going to be seeing the return of OJ on the Ace, but I'm assuming the Ace will mostly be used to try to breach maybe the church wall, maybe the dirt wall, and see if maybe Rafflecopter can go in for the push through multiple avenues.
Yeah, they'll probably spend at least one on the dirt tunnel, for sure. It's just where the other one goes. Probably going to be the big question. We've got Nazgul here on the Maestro too. Going to be nice and quick on getting his Evil Eyes down this time. Doesn't have to drop down anywhere weird, but hey, look, it's not like it worked out badly for him last time, so maybe I'm being too harsh. He's just on time, just like Gandalf. But hey, here we go. It's Rafflecopter on match point. And we have to go all the way down. This is a lot slower than some of the takes have been by Ferox, but you know, it's not that far behind. It's a matter of maybe 10 seconds, 20 seconds. Just the general feel for sure. Campo as well, he's making his way in, and this is definitely going to be where it all begins here, as Deptra just going to clear out all the floor and make sure no one can escape from the site as well, at least without him knowing about it. But of course, the kitchen is going to be where we really want to start hanging out, because we want to start finding these nade kills, finding these shots from below. But if you're a defender, if you're Ferox, those impacts are going to be what you're watching out for.
Yeah, those strikes are certainly going to be quite an issue to deal with, and right now Deptra will need to do quite a whole lot of things, because last time he got just essentially walked on by Todd with a very dandy walk. And Oda's setup is actually, I like that. I like the way of how he's going about his kite tricking. Another kite charge is going in to try to prevent as much as possible, and funnily enough, well, actually the breaches are going to be quite successful. The Selma charge is going to be there to attempt to be breached again, and well, finally the hatch is going to be open, but I believe that's about all of the Selma charges that have been used up for that breach.
Did they get one on the dirt tunnel? Because I don't think they did.
I'm not sure. I don't think they did. So right now it's down to Rigba to actually get things going, because they already just opened up another hatch here. So yeah, we'll have to see, because Rafflecopter may be running out of
oh yeah, they did.
issues there. Okay, there we go. So they have an option there to go in for the push. So they have a fair few ways to really go about it. So Boydie leading the charge is going to be a huge one. Rigba getting down but not finished off is going to be a massive mistake here from Todd that will be punished. And now Boydie and Rigba, although being very low in health, still should be able to frag it out.
I mean, just a few ticks of the gas grenade would actually kill both of them. So Shade is in an incredibly strong position, but it's still two people that are aiming down on him. And there it goes. There's the punishment onto Oda, actually, as it's still Shade holding the dirt tunnel. That's two people locked up. But look, Boydie actually got knocked down as well. He might be able to get back up from this one, but they are locked out until that timer is very much close to zero. The smoke's now coming out. Here's Shade running around, and he sees the diffuser and just shoves a knife right in there and just tries to hold down the line for a little bit longer. Boydie and Campo on barely any health, just repicks to try and lock this one down. The timer hitting zero, but the plant going down, but they find him and shoot him down and grab that 7th round.
Rafflecopter being also close to potentially losing out that round, able to bring it back, and my goodness, that was a one-way to really deal with it. A 7-4 definitely will feel like I'll have to bite my tongue once again there after me saying that this might be a closer game than what Rufflecopter had with the PC 419, but alas, hey, there we are, 7-4, first map to go into the favor of Rufflecopters. That was a very dominant game, apart from the 4 rounds, well, 2 rounds in the first half and 2 rounds in the second half that Ferox were able to nab away.
It actually was just a repeat of the
Exactly.
same half, twice, right? So there it is. I mean, Rufflecopter grab map number 1. This is going to guarantee they remain at that top space.
Yes.
No one can actually overtake them now, at least for 1 week. However, to see if the series does go to a tie, after the break we come back, we go to Oregon to see if Ferox can bring it back. Get back in here, everyone. We are going to Oregon. It's LPL Pro Rainbow Six Siege Season number 3. Smite, Cthulu, and Rufflecopter have just taken out Clubhouse against Ferox. But we now go to, this is Rufflecopter's map pick, I believe, to Oregon.
Correct.
And, well, Rufflecopter feel like they're on a roll and they have secured their spot at the top of the leaderboard, at least for another week.
Yes, yeah, that was a very dominant performance from them, being able to replicate the scorelines throughout both of the halves, 4-2, 4-2, and then, well, that is, well,
Well, they got
technically-
8.
Yeah, it means 8, but no, they were able to replicate this in a similar fashion, let's just say that. First 2 rounds did go initially into the hands of Ferox on both of the halves, and then it was pretty much Rufflecopter all the way from down there. So that does set them up for 11 points already, which will be ensuring that not a single team will be able to really better them, at least within this week. But I think Rufflecopter are not yet settled for a draw. They won that 2-0. They want to just fully concrete solidify themselves in that first place, and, well, they got just the right map for it.
Yeah, well, look, they can't get too comfy, right? Because they might be fine for another week, but there's some teams that are very likely to get a 2-0 this week, right? We know Xto are playing ShatterNet later tonight. That one is predicted to be a 2-0 for them. And even though Xto are 5th right now, that would put them only 2 points behind the current score of Rufflecopter. Of course, the 2-0 would put them even further out of reach. So, you know, if they do get the 2-0, then it guarantees another week, like, fully guarantees another week of just sitting at the top, and the best anyone can do is draw. So there's certainly a lot of incentive for Rufflecopter to get in here and just crush the rest of the series, get that 2-0. But just as much, right, when you're on Ferox's side. They obviously want to keep that first place team right now in their reach, but they also want to get away from that 3-way tie in second place.
Correct. Well, this is going to be the big proving ground, I suppose, for both of the teams. Whether Rufflecopter will be able to nab themselves that 2-0 or not, well, this is about to be decided. Ferox are the first ones to ban, and potentially I'm assuming it's going to be a Thatcher, maybe Ace, really, given how powerful Rufflecopter were with that combination. And there we go, Thatcher will be banned out here on Oregon. I'm assuming maybe a Maverick, maybe an Ace will be banned out here, because, once again, both of those operators can have absolutely a field day, really, with breaching on Oregon, and, well, we're just about to find out it's going to be Maverick. So, once again, Ace is still going to be present, and I believe we might just see maybe a decision to bring in a Kali, or rather just both the teams seeking alternatives to really how to flank around some of the bandit charges or kite charges, or mute for that matter. So, funnily enough, for the defense, I don't think there will be any controversial bans. Well, just as I say that, maybe we just might see this. No, instead it's going to be just a mirror. And to conclude it all up, it is going to be Ferox to be banning things out. I'm assuming it's going to be maybe a Valkyrie, maybe a Maestro even?
Yeah, Valkyrie, Wamai, like some of the power picks like that. Wamai,
There you go,
there
yeah.
we go.
Yeah, there we go. Wamai will be banned out, so no more of the of sneaking in some of the magnets around some of the rather cheekier corners, and instead it's just going to be just the German operator that will have to do all the heavy lifting there and trying to deny as many projectiles as possible. So
it also denies any kind of combos with Goyo as well, like the Vulcans with the magnets.
True.
Are a very powerful combo. So you get rid of that, you know, okay, even if Goyo does show up, it's not going to be as big a deal.
that is true. That is true. Well, Laundry is going to be the first site to be picked, as it is going to be Ferox to keep on defending, continuing their, I suppose, streak from Clubhouse. But right now, I'm more so curious if a similar fashion
like first map is going to be done here.
Attackers need to locate
Given
and defuse as many bombs
how
as they can.
I suppose confident or dominant it was from Rufflecopter, but at the same time, Ferox did show some signs of life throughout, even the rounds that they did lose.
Well, Ferox kicked things off really strong in round 1 back on Clubhouse, but they were on attack to do that. So you have a little less leeway to do that sort of thing. 3 drones into drone party down here at the entrance. But I imagine they just want to keep the drones there and not lose them. But it made me lose my point from the drone party there. But yeah, so they kicked it off strong on round 1 last time, but they were on attack that time. A little harder to set the pace when you're on defense, unless you're doing some crazy like extra roaming sort of deal, or we hold up like, really close to the entrance, which you kind of do here. So maybe, but I imagine a lot of it's going to be, of course, the big man on the smoke, Todd, trying to hold back the forces here as long as he can, those gas grenades.
Yeah, gas grenades are going to be a huge thing here for Rufflecopter to really deal with, and for Ferox to really utilize for themselves. Already the Ash Charge is being used. Actually, as a matter of fact, both of them will be used up to try to get rid of as much of the utility as possible. Now that there's no more of the ADSs, now things might be looking a little bit dicey here. Namely for Nazgul's position, because he's about to get pressured from the main stairs of the watchtower, as well as that. There's quite a swing going there. Boydie, phenomenal work with a suppressed G8. Now that is one way to try to tilt your opponents.
Yeah, Nazgul just got caught out trying to go from one side to the other, just in the open, unfortunately. Boydie with barely any health. Oh my god, how is he dodging? Neo here, bending around all the bullets, but still alive somehow. That said, though, it's not looking all that guaranteed for Rufflecopter. They might have one down, but it's still a Maestro, right? He's still got one camera, which he'll have already pointed in a really good position. Now Todd can just jump back through, throw up the wall, and completely cut off that rotation as well. Now, just one way for Rufflecopter to get in. They're going to have to go all the way around past the soft wall as well. And you look at Boydie's health, and you know a piece of the wall falls on him and he dies.
Swapping meds.
I'm curious if Rigby actually brought on board the secondary breaching charge, because that could make the life of the attack a little bit easier. I'm pretty sure OJ still has plenty of the summer charges, which he will
There he goes.
quite confidently using. There we go. And already an opening, but at the very least there's a trade. Oda finally is able to find the shot onto Boydie, but will be traded out pretty quickly by Campo. So 4-2 situation with namely only the freezer being owned by Ferox, well, as well as the laundry room with some crossfires. But apart from that, not a whole lot of ground is secured by Ferox. So this should be a pretty easy entry on site here by Rufflecopter.
Oh, and they found Repix as well, so he should be done for pretty soon. Although Shade playing with fire a little bit around here. Oh, Repix literally playing with fire right where he's standing.
hello.
Still gets a kill, steps into the flames to get a second one if he can, but doesn't find it, and Rufflecopter grab around number 1.
That was a really good round, gotta say, by Rufflecopter. To kick things off, Boydie getting that swing onto Maestro that early into the round was a really good way to open up and actually solidify a really good foothold for Rufflecopter to really play around. So this is certainly looking like a good beginning, points-wise at the very least, for Rufflecopter. But it's only the first round. We saw how previously Ferox began their half in a really good manner, but after that, couldn't really do much. So maybe Rufflecopter could really trip up here as well on their own map picks. We've seen actually a few times when teams would actually trade off their opponents' map picks for their wins.
A lot of time wasting coming out here for Ferox, Smoke and the Goyo. So if we get to a situation where there's not very much time left for the attackers, Rufflecopter might be in trouble because they still have to deal with these Vulcan shields. They still have to deal with the 3 gas grenades that Nazgul... I mean, if you get to the end and Nazgul still has gas grenades, crazy. He's very likely going to be sitting up around the tower, looking to hold that line, but then of course Shade can kind of do that on his own, so we'll have to wait to see exactly where they're going to stick everyone, and where Nazgul does go.
Yeah, I'm curious how and where rather Nazgul play around, because there's a few places where he could be a very effective operator. Namely, I would say the attic, whilst being supported by some of those ADSs. That is a very good position as well by
Defuse it.
Campo's drone to try to just keep an eye out for any of the flanks. It seems that I think he might have spotted Shade yet. He saw Shade who was going to the ground floor of the watchtower, but now they know that there might be some presence down below, so maybe a push through the bunker could be warranted here.
Oh, straight in goes Rigba. He's, like you said, got that flank covered, but does have enemies nearby, so has to be very, very careful in how that goes. Lines up the jump on the drone. We've all done that little parkour mess before. But Deptra, just from the outside, waiting to get inside as well. But it's going to be all about this hold.
Round the outside. Round the outside.
You want to feel old?
Yes.
That's probably like 25 years old.
Yeah, that sounds about right. We do have, well, I don't think that the the streaming software liked that joke as well, because we just went full gray there. But look, for now, Rufflecopter, they did have a pretty good beginning for their push. It looked like we might be experiencing a few issues here for ourselves, and look, maybe we shall make a return here. There we go, we are back. We do have some damage already taken by Shade as well, but alas, that won't be seeing his demise just yet, so we are back to it.
Yeah, so not too much. At least no one's died in the time that we missed there, but it's Campo trying to change that just a little bit here. He's finally got his first step through, but this is the dangerous part where he's got to get the person at the other end right now of the attic. He's trying to find a way around. The Vulcan shield as well will buy Todd plenty of time. Sees the drone out, but he's in such a safe spot that he doesn't really need to worry just yet. He can even see through the little gaps in the barricade as well. So everything, well, maybe you can't see through it anymore, but pop goes the barricade. Immediately the Vulcan goes down. Todd, actually, those bullets connected onto him. They might have heard that, but have to be careful. They'll expect him to not be there anymore. Rigba's drone should have been able to tell. Yeah, Campo knows, but Campo can't finish the job. It is a trade though, and Rigba will run in there and grab both kills.
Yeah, Rigba able to find revenge. That is a good beginning. As well as that, Repix actually finding the kill on Tabordi now. That is back to a 3v3. Still full control of the sights, but Shade is really low on health. A single bullet will be putting him down, and right now, for Rigba, that should be an easy way to get the frag, because that power of 308 deals quite a hefty amount of damage. So now it's down to just finding the frags. That is a bit of a cheeky
15 seconds to go.
a bit of a cheeky head trick there. OJ goes in for the swing, potentially will be the one to go in for the plan, but no, it's Rigba. Just, it's the Rigba show all through and through, and attempt that plant will be going down. No C4 at all, so a swing must be warranted here. 3v1 situation, but the plan has been denied! No! Repix doing some phenomenal job and able to really get things going, but just a second late.
Oh no.
Or rather, a second too early.
Well, I mean, look, Rufflecopter, pretty good little swing in there to get the job done. Big plays coming out from, I believe it was Campo, who was just totally ready. Actually, no, he went in for the swing. It was Todd that was ready, but not quite enough for that one. It was Rigba that got the rest of that job done. But as we can see, that leaves them 2 points in the lead. Have we seen this somewhere before, Cthulhu? We're getting a little bit of deja vu. 2 rounds right off the bat.
Well, we'll have to see how round 3 really conclude here, as maybe that's where the deja vu will really dissipate. Because, look, that round had me so hyped and confused at the same time that I couldn't really figure out at the end of the round who ended up winning, because that was very close for Ferox just being able to clutch it out. And Repix actually had a really good idea to try to just wait out for the last second, going for the swing, and even if he will get down, he should be able to deny the time, or, well, so he thought, but
it's the plays like that you got to respect.
True.
Right? Because you're in a situation where it doesn't really matter what you do. You're probably just going to lose any fair fight you try to take. So just go in there, swing something wild. Maybe they mess up. Maybe they
get off the plan.
Maybe they throw their mouse off the keyboard. Like, who knows? Anything can happen. It only takes one small mistake to lose your guy planting the diffuser. So, wait, was that the...
Yeah, that was the camera that was thrown out by Todd. Thank you, Gus, by the way.
So hard I couldn't see it.
Yeah.
That's how hidden it is.
Yeah, Todd was definitely one of the few connoisseurs of Valkyrie cameras back in the days, so it's good to see that he's back into shape for going for some cheeky throwouts. Breakman, though, doesn't really waste any time. Goes in for the breach, and, well, that secondary hard breaching device is certainly going to mask, well, at least open up just the right position where his entry into the attic will be masked. But there is some presence of Valkyrie, of Todd, just around the area.
Man, Capitale's in such a good spot for that sort of play, right? I mean, the ability to bring the hard breach as well as, you know, your flame bolts and your smoke bolts down that corridor. Just basically the ideal operator for that position. But as you can see, hasn't quite finished the job just yet. As they're still trying to get in, still trying to move in, drone out, find out where all the defenders are. But of course, Todd has been hanging around very sneaky. Oh, Boydie, very close to the side. But Todd, oh no! He sees it, it's like Scooby-Doo. And he sees him right at the end of the corridor and takes out Boydie as well. Todd, he might have just won the round there.
That double kill is absolutely devastating here. And unless OJ will be able to find the shot onto Todd, that is going to be a bit of a change in scenery. Right now, OJ is about to run into one of the prone operators and, well, could be punished very quickly, but no, punishes Shade instead and actually has a very nice, very clear opening right onto site with no crossfires yet to be set up, with Dipter also having some vertical play. So it's not over yet, but that was definitely quite a punch in the gut that Ferox delivered to Rufflecopter.
Well, they've got to finish off the punch here because they are only just one man ahead. They've got a minute to work this one out, so still lots of time to find it. And OJ, he, like you said, he's got so much of an opening in here with those 2 breaches he's got done. So it's so hard for the defenders to hide, at least all 4 of them for now. The other good thing is they took out Shade on the smoke. Oh my god, there goes Nazgul as well. Onto the Malusi too. That's 2 very big operators now gone. But remember, Todd's been hunting around. Repix still very likely hunting around as well. 3v3. Todd, he's still there. He's still got it. He's still got the triple. Make that a quad kill.
There it is.
Give him one more. Where's Deptra? Hunt him down.
Oh, he will be definitely hunting for that frag, although being quite low in health as well. Things might be looking a little bit rough here. 1v3 situation, 15 seconds remaining. Nothing to be done here, really, by Deptra. And right now, no matter what kind of clutch master he is, that kind of crossfire is unbeatable. Ripix to finish him off, and, well, Ferox might just be able to do that. Deja vu might just persist here, Smite.
Yeah, I was kind of joking about it, but I mean, hey, it's going to plan so far. But well, yeah, look, Todd pulled it out really hardcore in that round. I mean, the knowledge he had from the cams, on top of the fact that he just had 2 incredibly good swings. I think 2 of the swings happened, and each one involved 2 kills. So big plays from the man Todd, bringing Ferox back into this one, but they are still around behind. And we go back to the basement, back to the laundry and supply. I don't see that swap coming out, Cthulhu, but you never know. That's my reaction too.
That is a very questionable change there by Nazgul.
Off the Maestro too.
Off of Maestro, yeah, as well. That is the main thing. I would have understood, say, swap over from. I'm guessing the next one is the Lucy maybe on my list, but even then, a pick of Warden. Even with the fact that Rufflecopter were not really bringing in a Ying or as many smokes, kind of doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Plus, with the fact that how Warden right now is, he still needs to be stationary for quite a while to actually even be able to deny the smoke grenade. So,
10 seconds.
Well, let's see.
Yeah, I suppose we'll have to see because looking even at the loadout, he's not bringing in the shotgun and the SMG-12 combo. So I'm assuming it's a pistol and the MPX, but only for the sheer purpose of holding the bunker. Yeah, I'm not too sure, but hey, look, that's why I'm a caster and they are the players. They deliver the actual big brain while I actually get to discuss the big brain.
Well, I mean, let's see how big this brain really is as we open up with all the plays. All the flashbangs Warden could be blocking, getting drained up by the ADS. The first frag to come through as well, but here we go. Shady wants to get a look in there too, but the man on Warden, what can he get done? He's got an angle on the stairs and in the bunker too. These gas grenades coming out mighty early here, barely 40 seconds into the round too, so What are they going to find here? They're still sitting outside, but they're draining this utility pretty quickly.
How is Nazgul allowing Deptra to just walk in and just throw in grenades? I'm a little bit puzzled there.
He is going to try to play maybe a bit of a more sort of a passive angle, knowing, oh no, Rigba. Good night, Deptra. And,
He thought it was the illusion.
Yeah, maybe he thought there was an illusion. Nazgul does manage to punish Campo now at this point, and, well, we shall be seeing Boydie take even more damage from those gas grenades. But right now, this is looking like it's all falling apart here for Rufflecopter. Partially due to that team kill, partially due to the fact that there's still that presence in the bunker entrance is still very powerful. And Todd just walks right through, gets a double as well for Nazgul. And, well, all down to Boydie. Seems that maybe the pick of Warden has paid off, at least partially, and not in the way that I would have expected.
Well, when you get the opponents to get a team kill for you, then that's a great way to start it as well. But yeah, props to Ferox, holding in the bunker perfectly well, right? Those gas grenades, totally timing them out. Even one placed in a way that forced Rigba to run forwards to basically his doom rather than running back. He just didn't have the health to survive it. Obviously, this round is now over. By the way, guys, Boydie basically just hanging out, vibing on his own. Yeah. Doesn't have any music though. It's a bit lonesome when he doesn't have any music up here. How can you vibe without the lo-fi beats to plant to?
To plant to. Maybe well, maybe he's got some in the earpieces. Well, earpieces of Ash that protecting her from getting tinnitus from the shot. So who knows? But that won't be staying there for long. Oda does manage to find a shot into Boydie, and that is going to be all for that round. But yeah, Ferox managing to draw it out again. That is a good beginning. They are managing to return from what was quite an upset of a loss there on Clubhouse on their own map pick. And here on Oregon, it feels very odd, given that that whole round was pretty much forfeited the moment Rigba TK'd Deptra. Now they are finally bringing the IQ, which I was expecting to be brought out in the previous round after how demolishing Valkyrie pick was against them. And now comes the question is how quickly will Deptra be able to dispatch of those Valkyrie cameras, because those were the main reason why that quad kill was gained by Todd, and Shade actually this time decides to bring in a Warden instead of a Goyo for
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Defense.
Yeah, this one's interesting because, like, right where Repix is, right, you expect the Goyo to set up all his barriers there, or at least something like a mute to deny even the drones. But
see, the thing is though, for the added defense, Warden does make sense because we've seen quite a fair bit of smoke grenades, some flashbangs to be thrown around. So a Warden holding an attic is a good idea, but I'm not too sure if it's a good idea to swap off from Goyo, like you said, because Goyo shields definitely do provide some ability to drain time, to, well, maybe drain some health of the attackers. So, yeah, it's more so of just a everlasting debate of, well, who do you pick instead?
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb and defuse.
Also, fair to mention that Capital does bring the smoke bolts, so it's like a little extra utility that Warden does get around, but particularly in the attic as well. There you go, Oda.
Oda just full-blown just gave up and just, let me just go in and do it somewhere else.
You know what messes me up? I run out of time in prep phase all the time because I'm reinforcing for my teammates, and then Oda here just gets to sit, play around with his electro claw for 30 seconds.
It's like he's playing with the yo-yo.
Yeah, so, you know, I'm a little jealous, just saying. Wish I had that much time.
Getting to enjoy all of that. But talking about enjoying all of the information, maybe some extra time, Deptra is actually up and around, just getting rid of all of the small bits of utility here and there. Does spot, I believe, one of the Kaya charges, which should or at least make his teammates' life a little bit easier. But as it stands, really is just the calm before the storm. They've already taken control of the master bedroom, which is a good start. And from here on, it's more so just more so of a question if there's going to be a flank. Shade already finding the shot onto Boydie. That is a grand beginning here, and that is actually minus the Ash. Although I'm not too sure. Oh, okay, just outside the master bedroom in Trophy. So that was a really good swing. What is interesting to me is the fact that there's no ground floor roaming. The whole of Ferox is just sitting up on the site.
And then let's Deptra do exactly that. Just walk around, basically find anything under a soft floor that he can immediately disable. Any other kind of traps that are like lying around this, downstairs, also taken out by him as well. He'll eventually loop back up with the rest of the team once they're finished droning, and then basically be part of their run again. There he is there. So they've got their way back in. They've got now the thermite charge on one of the main walls, and so here we go. Oda, he's got a C4 placed and ready. No, he throws it in, tickles OJ a little bit, but that's a bit about it.
I like the fact that OJ just didn't get even phased at all by that C4. He just kept on sitting on the drone. There was some damage being dealt out, and Shade just unfortunately ran out of the ammo in the mag of MPX. And now another swing could be done. Todd has still got the MPX, but gets down. This time it's the M762 that is just better in any shape or form. Nazgul just flexing the box mag. We're going in for a reload. And right now, this is the big opening here for Rufflecopter to go in for the push. They already have had the man advantage for the swing. And now Nazgul just keeps on just holding the left click. But Deptra has a G8 as well. Gets traded off by Oda. 2v2 situation, make it 2v1. 1v1 situation. Rigby is the last man standing. The push needs to happen. The plant needs to happen. No more of either the flame bolts or the smoke bolts, and Oda needs to go in for the push. 1 second remaining. The pre-fire needs to happen, and Rigby, oh, so close, goes in for the swing, but Oda wins it out, and well, Ferox in the lead points-wise.
You got to feel for Rigby at the end. He almost clutched it out, but unfortunately just didn't have any time at all to make it work. He went for the plant like immediately, which he needed to, and once he got it down, obviously, like you saw, he had no time to position at all. Oda can pick that one up, but yeah, look, that was almost so good for Rufflecopter there. They were locking down angles from so far back. Campo and Rigby coming down through the attic. They locked down just multiple prone defenders. And they almost swung it back there, but yeah, just at the end, it turns out the numbers were just right there for Ferox. They managed to stay in the lead for now. We are back over, well actually, just heading over to the kitchen and dining hall for our final sight of the half.
And this is the site where Todd went absolutely huge with his roaming and with his Valcams. One of the main reasons why IQ was picked, but funnily enough, for this time, no IQ will be picked. And no 6-pick, funnily enough, from Ferox as well, either. So, yeah, it's certainly making me scratch my head a little bit in questioning whether not bringing an IQ this time was a good idea, but we'll have to see how will Rufflecopter react to this.
Well, the difference is they've got the Nomad this time, and Todd,
that is true.
For all his cams, he was also roaming around a little bit and got a lot of those kills from that. So maybe cutting him off like that could be on the minds of Rigby, where they say, Rufflecopter is just saying, okay, look, we're not going to find all the cams, so let's just try and cut him off entirely physically, so he literally cannot run towards us, or at least without not making some noise himself. So perhaps that could be on the minds of Rufflecopter, but they certainly want to win this one out. Todd, here comes one of his first cams and gets thrown outside. I almost thought it was going to get caught on the bar there, but that's alright. First cam now out, so all that intel, the Valk and the Maestro combo, so strong on that.
Yeah. Even with the fact that Echo is still in the quarantine competitively, that duo is still extremely powerful, like you said. Even with, say, mixing Valk with some bulletproof cameras that some of the other operators have, it's still a very powerful combination to play against. This time, Rufflecopter, they did learn their mistake. They are now going to check the armory in each and every other room before they're going to make any push. And, well, they won't be bringing in any results just yet. There is a Wild Repix just playing around the kids' room, so this is where he initially went for a few pre-fires before dropping down a hatch. So it's down to him and Nazgul to do some stirring up the Hornet's Nest, I suppose. Meanwhile, for Rufflecopter, they need to find those two roamers before they even default back to the side, because Repix already just got droned out, so possibly he will just fall back to the site, whereas Nazgul seeming to be quite dedicated to just playing for a few upsets here before the drop down.
Yeah, drop down comes on out, and all that time he's eaten up is just going to be that. So managed to burn down a little bit of the clock, but Ferox can still find a way to make this one work. No kills, like you said, just yet for now. But they've forced that roamer all the way back. They've even got a Rigby on the Nomad, like I was saying before, denying any kind of roams from anywhere else. So they've got everything covered.
Yeah, they got everything covered. They managed to actually force Nazgul off his position as well, so that is full control of the top floor without any losses. Now that is the main thing here. As well as that, Todd is not even on a roam just yet, so this is a good beginning here for Rufflecopter if they do want to come out successful here and even out the scoreline. Because otherwise, Ferox have been very stable with just draining as much time as possible. Shade in a bit of a sticky situation now that he can't really rotate out. There is full knowledge about his whereabouts, and a frag grenade should really do the job. But Shade actually goes even further as he defaults down to the freezer hallway, and now falls back to rendezvous with Nazgul potentially. So this is looking good. The flexibility of Ferox is exquisite here.
Yeah, well, the great thing for Rufflecopter, though, is they force all these defenders out, and they've survived, sure, but they have to run back up through the air jabs. Another kill comes out, and that is going to be Campo actually shut down as Oda has hunted him down. He's looking for another one, but the smoke's now coming out. Nazgul! Nazgul gets two, including the diffuser. This one all but over for Rufflecopter. Deptra might be able to find a few frags, and same with Rigba, but look at that clock, Cthulu. One kill might be feeling good, but 2 kills will make you feel great, but that win, it's going to remain just out of reach.
And Deptra will be able to get himself a few exit frags, but that is just about it. A 4-2 scoreline in favor of Ferox, as that is just about all that she wrote on that half. And, well, yeah, this is looking like we just might be seeing a bit of a role swap here, role reversal between the two teams, as now it's only Rufflecopter who were able to nab themselves only 2 points in the first half. So we'll have to see how the rest of this map really unravel. But even then, even with the fact that Ferox could potentially nab themselves the win here on this map, it's still a loss for them theoretically, because they weren't able to even get close to contesting the position of Rufflecopter, and Rufflecopter were able to solidify themselves fully, with even the fact that if one of the teams does get themselves up to the 10 points, they won't be able to even close the contest with the first place.
Yeah, but a draw here would be important for Ferox because it keeps Rufflecopter within reach of that first place, right? So they could come back another week and maybe get a 2-0 and overtake them eventually. But of course, they have to finish this one off, so we're very, very close. Remember, Rufflecopter, they want a 2-0 to secure first place for a few weeks, basically. Maybe even just the rest of the round robin. For Ferox, though, like I said, they want to keep Rufflecopter in reach, but also just stay a little bit ahead of the other teams, the 2 other teams that are tied in second place with them, with Exto on their tail by a point. Need I remind everyone as well. But we're in the second half now, Cthulhu, and we've got Ferox on the attack. Rigba, he is mighty far forward. Is he hunting drones here, or?
He just might be, actually, funnily enough.
Attacker's objective is to locate a bomb and defuse it. Defender has left.
Maybe going for a cheeky run out there. Already revealed his position and his potential intentions, but that does force Repix to slow down a little bit and just drone out to see if maybe he can find some early frags.
Alright, well, he sees that the run out's not really happening, so calls in the boys, calls in the drones, and they can move on in and get Repix to safety and maybe let him move a little further forward to contest the doorway and over to the left. It looks like they're not actually even holding over to the left where the smoke usually hangs out, unless he's like crawled back in through the rotation.
Well, maybe. For now, it seems that Ferox are a little bit taking it cautiously, trying to maybe find some openings before making the actual full-blown push.
Attackers have located
because, funnily enough, Rufflecopter are actually playing a very odd defensive game, and once again, we are running into an issue that we've seen, I believe, PC419 actually run into, and that is not getting rid of the default cameras. Although that doesn't matter, already the entry into the building has been done, so Repix already has a very nice foothold here in the pillars.
Yeah, and now we can drain out all those ADS, prepare for the final battle, and I say final, we're not even halfway through the round just yet, so Ferox have been very quick on this one. And look, yeah, here's the smoke player. Deptra very far back, not in the bunker even at all. They're not expecting a push to come from that direction. And so Repix, look at how far forward he is. He gets the red ping as well, so he knows he can just swing around the corner. Maybe go for it, but it'll be a little too risky for now. There's the first kill though, and it comes from Shade. Taking out the Kaid. OJ no longer here anymore, but Shade, he still wants more, even with his health bar so low. Repix might even try and bait them out as well. to show their position.
Gotta say, I like the fact how OJ just kept on just keeping the Zoff off that breach and just forcing her to fall back all the time. Just, nope, you're not gonna come in. No, you're not gonna go here as well either. Refix right now dodging the bullets of his own teammates at this point. Will be attempting to store some more chaos to force the defenders to stop moving. But right now the plant needs to happen. 42 seconds remaining, and quite some damage is being dealt to both of the players of Ferox, that is Repix and Oda, and well, there's also a Vulcan shield actually prepped up and ready to be blasted.
Oh, well, oh, there it is. The Vulcan shield, the diffuser. They all go down. But will the defenders be able to finish it off? Because now Ferox are swinging it back. Repix barely alive at this stage. Deptra should have some more gas grenades too. But Shade as well will fall. And there it is. Everyone from Ferox will go down. And Rafflecopter, they are still playing for this one.
And that was a really good play. Pretty much, Rafflecopter just played for a landslide there the moment they got the frag on the ace. And that was a bit of a mistake there, I gotta say, from Ferox, deciding to force their planter to push in very deep into the side. That was a very ambitious one. Without clearing out the crossfire from the freezer, that was pretty much well known at that point. As well as that, the moment, well, the diffuser went down, they exploded the Vulcan shield, so that is another set of time just completely drained out before they could even toy around with the idea of retrieving the diffuser back. So a very well done defense by Rafflecopter. Potentially they might just be able to snowball themselves another win, but right now they need to do their best really to just keep up the competitive scoreline for themselves if they do want to get themselves back 2-0.
Still an incredibly tight little series we've got on our hands here, Cthulhu. Map number 1 did look like it was going to be pretty close near the end, but of course, steamrolling ahead at the end for Rafflecopter got them the win. They might be looking to do the same here, but right now we've got Ferox currently in the lead and not looking like they're going to be slowing on down just yet. We're upstairs right now in the kid's bedroom. Well, we've seen this side a few times right now. There was the idea of a Mozzie being 6-pick, but then OJ swaps over to the Kaid at the last second as well. And I wonder if that even potentially baited the change to the Ayana, right?
Maybe. That's a stretch. That's a bit of a stretch. I was rather more curious to see if maybe OJ would have wanted to go for cheeky Kaid Electroclaw hide. But it seems that that's not going to be the case. That does capture both the patches. But yeah, I think you can actually hide one of the Electroclaws just to electrify the left side of the wall. And similar to what you can do actually on a clubhouse CCTV wall, you can actually hide the 2 Electroclaws that would separately electrify the 2 parts of that outside wall. So there are a few ways about it, but obviously OG didn't go for it. Instead, Ferox seeming to be quite upfront about their intentions, and it's going to be, well, to get the breach going in the walk-in closet and get some control over in the trophy and the master bedroom.
And Campo's actually been flushed out very early on. We saw a drone find him, so he's not going to be able to run down the clock very much at all. If we get an eyes on him at some point, you can see all 4 defenders here. There's Campo, yeah, so he's pretty much gone back to the side of the stage, but there it is, the first one. It's OJ threading the needle into that one.
All the way from downtown, OJ scoring 3-pointers here. Finding that shot onto Todd, that is a huge one because that is the only set of the frag grenades as well off the board now, so it's definitely going to be putting Rafflecopter in a very comfortable position. Plus, with the fact that there's going to be no more of the holograms as well, this could be huge. Oda does spot the flank though. Now that could be a very dangerous thing for Rigba to really toy around, but the man will just be playing around the attic area instead, or rather aiming for the hatch of the attic, and that will be forcing Oda to keep on playing downstairs, or at least for a short time before he will be returning back to the armory stairs. But he's still feeling threatened by the flank there. There are actually 2 people watching that crossfire, and well, quite successfully so, as Rigba gets taken down.
Yeah, and a shame. And 1 air jab in the pocket as well, so that flank unfortunately shutting him down, but just 1 minute to go. Deptra, 2 gas grenades in the pocket, so we can try and shut off at least 1 entrance for a little while. If you can cut off those 3 people there by Ferox, that could save them the round. He's got maybe just enough time to force them to rush. Boydie gonna try and lock down his angle as well, but there it is. They found Deptra. This should be Ferox's ticket right on in here. Only 3 defenders remain. Boydie's got an excellent little angle, but is it so excellent? Because he takes so much damage in return, but he turns the corner and gets another one. And this is Rolfgopter maybe bringing it back.
This could be huge, absolutely. Pre-fire from OJ as well to shut down Shay. Now that is a huge thing, only down to Oda. And only now he picks up the diffuser. Minimal amount of health for him. In a 1v3 with 10 seconds, this is borderline impossible to really pull off. And it seems like Rolfgopter are just about to even out the scoreline. 5 seconds, and it's just about to be a roll over Red Rover. Keep the KD, keep the keep the stats, but Ferox will be losing out this round. Rolfgopter even out the scoreline, back to a 4-4.
Oh my word, I don't believe it. I mean, look, I thought once Deptra went down, that was a big advantage that they'd be really hurting if the push happened then, but they stayed strong. Boydie, in particular, made some magic happen on that Valkyrie, so it's certainly bringing it back in. Campo as well, despite being flushed out on his roam so early on, still managed to be there right at the end of the round. So, look, big plays coming out from the boys over here on Rolfgopter, making a name for themselves as well, and here we are, 4-all. So close to either that 2-0 or that 1-all in the series.
Yeah, this is
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many
getting
bombs
very
as they
close
can.
to just finding us the winners of this matchup. As it stands, really, Rolfgopter are managing to draw out the line. Now, first half did conclude in a similar fashion of how Clubhouse pretty much went, but in a bit of a role reversal where Rolfgopter were only able to get the first 2 rounds, and after that it was Ferox who were dominating. Curious if this is going to be the similar case here. Now that the Rolfgopter got their 2 points here, is Ferox going to make a return here now that they are going back down to the laundry where they got pretty much, or rather not laundry, to
5
meeting.
seconds left.
But in a similar site that Ferox used to hold, but instead of meeting, they were playing kitchen dining. So maybe a few adjustments here, maybe a few shifts in the setups. Valkyrie, though, is still going to be persisting throughout both of the halves.
Yeah, this time though, it's going to be OJ running the Valk, seeing if he can find all that little extra intel again on top of the Maestro. Rolfgopter have so much to work with, and you know, you've got to dedicate certain utility to getting rid of those Maestro cams as well. Also, the mute now finally showing up on Deptra means that on the flip side, Ferox are going to have not much to go off at all with all those mute jammers. So this is going to be very important to get as much droning as you can out, getting around those mute jammers, because you're already not playing with a lot of intel if you're Ferox.
I mean, they still have Iana, who will be probably the main leverage here. Curious, though, how will she be able to swing things around here? Because the main thing is, right now, for Ferox to get rid of the roamers. And there is a wild Campo, the man, the myth, the legend, the Jaeger main of Rolfgopter. And actually, he's got a very vile peek angle right into the master bedroom, which I don't think will be spotted initially by Ferox unless droned out. And well, Repix already getting pressured here from all the angles, and potentially we might be seeing Rolfgopter default back to the site fairly promptly the moment another step will be made towards the site.
Oh, I don't know if Shade wanted to go for that one, but it's OJ to grab the first one onto Todd.
Oh, hello, OJ.
Is he going to keep going?
I think he might just be able to. He's already sitting on a landing, but no, gets traded out pretty quickly by Nazgul. I'm not too sure where from, though. I believe that is the bottom of the white stairs, but nonetheless, a trade is a trade. A Iana for Valkyrie, 2 of the 2 info gathering operators, as I nearly had a brain aneurysm there. But look, a 4v4 is still workable for either of the teams here.
Yeah, no one's out just yet. Not to mention though, OJ dying means that, you know, he gets to sit on Valk cams all game now, so he's not totally useless in this one, whereas Todd, unfortunately, I mean, maybe he can sit back and just call out. That's really about it. So, here we go. Boydie now has to drop all of the way down. This man is super far back, and he's got a big, heavy gun to take all the way back to the site.
Now, Nazgul could have actually caught out the Maestro rotating around, but just couldn't hold the angle for long enough. There is going to be a breach, and Oda actually pops the melon off Campo, so the site is now fully clear. Rigba needs to go in for a long-range retake, and Repix right now is actually waiting for the Maestro to actually push out, but he's still expecting for him to be in the security room. Flashbang's coming out as the plant is now beginning. Nazgul will be getting, I believe, just about as easy of a plant as it can get, but now comes the time of a retake in a post-plant situation. There is presence above the hatch as well, and now this is going to be a huge issue for Rufflecopter to deal with.
Yeah, they pretty much have to go and flush the attackers out. Rigba on the hunt for them, but gets taken down. It's just Boydie, and now only Nazgul remains. Nazgul's gun, unfortunately, a little bit smaller, but might be able to get the job done if he can camp it down. Those shots reveal the position, and that's all Nazgul needs to pull out the round win.
The initial chunkiness as well of Maestro, unfortunately, did also play against the poor defender, and well, Nazgul, yeah, got all of the needed sound cues to really ensure to know exactly where the Italian operator will be peeking out, and well, that was a fantastic performance there from Nazgul, and well, that is going to be putting Ferox back into the lead, 1 point ahead, and well, we're going down back to Laundry, the site that was pretty swiftly shut down previously by Rufflecopter. So I'm expecting Ferox to already know the general gist of the setup that Rufflecopter might be bringing in, and maybe this time we shall be seeing a slightly different outcome, as Oda is actually swapping over back to Kali, who was present in the previous Laundry push.
Yeah, so not much is going to look like it's going to change here as we return to the site, but it's going to be all about the execution. Last time we had Rufflecopter have a really good bunker hold. Like, they held them out for quite a while. You know, they had some pretty excellent moves. Of course, the drone hunting coming out from, I can't remember exactly who did it. I think it was Rigba on the Goyo, who ran like right up to the door and basically hunted down the drones. We're back to actually having Goyo on the site as well, which is going to show off why he's such an excellent operator down here in the basement. You just have such long angles, you know who the defenders are going to be going through, and you can just say, look, deal with this shield, or it's going to be a massive pain in the behind.
Yeah, that's going to be the big question as well. How well would Rufflecopter be able to deal with this issue before they will be forced to really go in for the push? So right now, apart from that, really, there's not a whole lot of changes in a lineup, especially in a lineup of Ferox. They are bringing in just about the same setup. And right now, it's going to be, the first question is how quickly can they flush out the pillars position. The second one is going to be how well can they get rid of the bunker presence.
Yeah, I think through the silhouettes we actually saw they're doing the same thing where Deptra's hanging super far back on the opposite side. He's actually over there on the right there.
That is such a vile angle that Rigba is actually holding. It's a pixel angle there. And the moment the peak by Repix is going to happen, that could really pop his melon there. Seems that Oda already made the entrance into the bunker and will be confirming that there's no presence whatsoever. There's still a really tight angle there by Rigba, who will be actually, funnily enough, pulling back, and well, there we go. That's the first warrior shield gone. So a minute later, they're getting rid of the position in the pillars, but they haven't gotten rid of the operator that was holding that position, so that is a minus.
Yeah, but that pixel angle is now gone, so he can't just sit there and hold down the bunker super easily. Has to fall back, and that means these drones get a little bit more freedom, and they can get that little bit more intel, show exactly where some of these shields are sitting, and of course the operators too. Repix is waiting for, he's waiting for the Goyo to come right back around, but he's also got a little surprise for any shields. And you're just going to fire that on down, blow it up, and well, Rigba, a little bit defenseless now, will have to just use the cover in the roof.
Now here's the thing. Now Rigba previously was playing in the freezer. Now no longer. Here, it will be up to Boydie to keep on holding a solo position. This time, no crossfire is being done, and OJ once again falls down. Deptra able to down the Yana and actually keep most of his HP. He still has three of the smoke grenades, so he should be able to deal quite some damage to the push, but decides to go in for the swing instead, and Nazgul punishes him very dearly. And well, with the Goyo shield now gone, it's down to Rigba to try to go in for the swing. Peek by Boydie, ensuring a down and a kill as well. Oda completely scot-free, given away to Boydie. We're back to a 3v3. 45 seconds remaining, make it 2v3. Nazgul finds his triple kill. He needs 2 more for the ace as Campo... Oh! Campo just deletes him. Good night, good sir. Down to Repix and Shade. 33 seconds.
Yeah, this is time to make it work for sure. Campo's in a really strong position, though. They have pretty much full knowledge of where everyone is right now, so it's just going to be about who peaks, and we know that the attackers are going to have to be the ones that do that. Ferox go for the first swing, and they get Rigba. Now they want to know where Campo is, but Campo is the one hunting them down. One more is all that remains, but it's Repix to come in and claim that one. Ferox get another one in the bag. Cthulhu, it's actually happening.
It is actually indeed, yeah. A match point has been already gained by Ferox, seeming to be just a bit of a role reversal here as Rufflecopter has slowed down their revs here, as it seems that their whole roll machine has completely shut down here.
Now, every team, at least in the top 5 right now, should be looking at this match. Of course, 2 of them are actually playing it, but every round now will count because it decides whether Rufflecopter stay at the top of the leaderboard or if anyone can actually compete against them. It's the difference of getting 1 point or 3 points.
Yes. Well, Laundry Room is going to be potentially the final place for the battle. A swap from a Iana to a Twitch. Now, that is going to be a very interesting one for 2 reasons. One, there's going to be, a little bit of a different kind of firepower that they will be bringing in. And 2, they will have a very safe way to partially deal with those ADS that will be placed right at the entrance from B side to electrical. This is where 3 ADSs are going to be set up, and Twitch should be able to deal with those very safely later on in the round, though, because right now there's going to be a full-blown drone hunt by the defense, and later on, before the push happens, this is where Twitch could really throw in a spanner in the works of Rufflecopter's defense.
Yeah, a lot to play around with, right? I mean, look, you've got Boydie's Malusi traps that are going to be vulnerable. Obviously, the ADS, like you mentioned, any Electro Claws that he can find. Look, there's a lot that the Twitch drone can go through, as well as the fact that the F2 is just a pretty fun gun to use. Little secret, my first Black Eye skin, but then the gun got nerfed.
Yeah, I'll have to agree. F2 is still a pretty fun weapon, but after all the nerfs, it's a little bit harder to compete with it against any other issues. Nazgul right now giving out all the needed information really for his team. First Boyshul gets taken out pretty quickly. Campo will be forced out of his position quite swiftly. Now we'll be returning to the Pixel position, but it doesn't. It looks like it doesn't need it to be held there. As Rigwood just swings in and gets rid of Oda, and that is a huge thing. Now it's down to Todd to actually do, well, all the riddance of the breaching, well, anti-breaching devices, as well as the ADSs. So even if he lose one of the Twitch drones, this is going to be a massive issue for the man.
Yeah, basically impossible, right? To get rid of that Malusi device, though. Ash hates being slow, as we all know. But Repix, here on Pillar, trying to find his way into the site or down the hallway. He definitely has to be careful as he moves around. Obviously can't go through this wall as it's all very, very breached up. And, well, unfortunately, electrified too. Here comes the ADS burning, though. Looks like it's not going to be the Twitch drone to do it. And I don't think they're going to breach any other way. So this is a very difficult way for Ferox to get on in here. And, oh no! Boydie, it looked like he had the perfect angle. But Nazgul, he reads him like a book.
Yeah, exactly. Read like a book and played like a fiddle. 4v4 is going to be the story of the rest of the round. Right now, there's still an issue of the breaching. Well, not for long, since that Todd and Shade were able to really acquire the bread in that department. And, well, the breach is going to be happening now. A multitude of angles that need to be contested here is going to be the main question. Can Campo find the shot against Todd? The F2 has a better damage output, and, well, there's the swing. Fantastic headshot by onto Campo, rather, by Todd, and the plant is starting to go down. Smoke grenade only going to be draining Shade's health, and Rigba actually goes into the swing to get the frag. OG gets the kill, but Todd swaps around. The diffuser is not down, and, well, 40 seconds remaining, there's still a chance for a plant, but 2v2 is a dangerous avenue for Ferox to really toy about.
Oh man, how is Repix alive? He just stood there for a moment, but stays up. But it's Deptra who falls down, and all up to Rigba to try and save this round here as he gets one of the drones. That should be the last one he needs to get. No! Throwing the C4 out at the wrong time. He won't even get to use it now, but Repix has taken and finished out Deptra. It's the 2v1. The plant is going down. He just needs to stop the plant in a few seconds. Rigba, he finds one kill. He knocks him down. Where's the last one? They had to stop planting. They had to stop planting. And Rigba, he gets the kill anyway and keeps Rufflecopter alive.
My goodness, just as I thought that the Rufflecopter squad is about to be turned down and pretty much shut down in any shape or form, we do get a very nice highlight there. Rigpa clutching it out 1v2, and well, 5-6. This round will be the big decider, whether we shall be seeing an overtime or whether it's going to be a 7-5 victory for Ferox. So certainly a very curious idea to toy around here, because for Rufflecopter they may just get another chance at getting themselves a 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, we've been hyping up how important the 2-0 is for these guys. Securing the first place seed pretty much would be a godsend for them, especially after just coming into the league so strong this season. But of course, Ferox, they might not be able to steal away that first place, but a win here would put them in second place, you know, not tied with anyone currently, and then also keeps Rufflecopter in reach. That's just so important for everyone right now. Also, the other two teams that are tied with Ferox, you know, Skyfire and PC419, yes, it was on the tip of my tongue. I kept thinking Exto, but they got kicked out. PC419 as well. They are watching this match right now. They know these next 1 or 2 rounds, possibly more if we go into overtime, it's going to be massively important on whether or not they can catch Rufflecopter next week. Or this week.
Yeah. The decision as to which team will be in the lead, or rather how far in the lead, is going to be quite a huge thing to really think about. And right now, Ferox are certainly going to be the team that will be cheered up on by quite a fair few teams, even by the teams that are just outside of that top 4 bracket.
And just anyone that loves a good little underdog story, right? I mean, Ferox currently down a game, and yet here they are on the precipice of bringing it back. But we're going to get to the round at hand here, Cthulhu, because it's now starting to kick on off, and this is very important for Rufflecopter, right? So if they get the first frag here, they're going to feel a lot more comfortable, but it's actually going to be Shade to pick that one up, coming out at the same time as we saw Repix take his shots, but it's Shade to get the kill, all the way outside as well.
An early frag as well into Boydie, and that is a huge play here for Ferox and a huge beginning, given that Boydie was able to do quite a few very reckless and very good things for his team. No longer he will be present. It's down to the other 4, which I don't think it's all lost yet, but it's certainly going to make things a whole lot rougher here for any pushes. Finally, the Valcam is also going to be spotted, so Woody will not be able to relay any more information from there. But apart from that, really, it's a game of just waiting for when to go in for the swing, because Nazgul has got a very nice angle set up, but it won't be saving him from taking any extra damage.
But yeah, trying to go in for the swing again. He's already used one Selma charge, so not the end of the world if he does go down here, but has to go back to flank watch a little bit as Repix goes to get the job done, and well, blows up the shield and forces them all the way back. Even the floor below them will be blown up too. So Campo actually pushed forward quite far, and oh no, doesn't quite get the kill on that one and has to fall back even further, at risk of death at the turn of every corner. And you can see them crouching around the corner. Deptra anchored right now in the depths of the site.
Now the main person who is at the risk of death is Deptra. He's toying with fire right now, trying to peek against Shade, who was able to punish Boydie very quickly. Already the breach is starting to happen in the walk-in closet. No openings, funnily enough, into the attic, which could be the downfall of Ferox's push later on in the round. But right now, this is looking pretty good, pretty safe here for Rufflecopter to hold their position. Apart from that, the push is just about to happen. 30 seconds remaining. The push needs to go on, and Campo got spotted. The push needs to happen here from Ferox. They need to flank him out, and well, there's no presence on the white stairs, no presence at the double window. Another swing. That's Nazgul down. That's the diffuser down as well. 18 seconds. They need to just hold on for a little bit longer for the overtime, because Todd has been down. Repix is about to go in for the swing. There's the kill. There's potentially a double for Shade as well. 3v2, Todd is down, all down to Shade. He needs to clutch it out, but right now he will be taken down. OJ, what a mad lad, what a Campo play, and oh my goodness, just toying with my emotions at this point, both of those teams.
The worst part is Rigba stole all his kills. You see in the kill feed, he got the credit for them, so I think no one's going to be too upset, because Rufflecopter get to stay alive, and we get to go to overtime now. This is where things change up entirely right now. It's no longer do or die. Everyone's back to a clean slate, but that does not last for very long. This first round is going to be deciding who gets the pressure put on them in these final moments. Remember, this win means a lot to both teams.
Yeah, this is a huge play. The fact that Rufflecopter are making a comeback, that is a big thing here. And with the fact that they are starting on the defense, rather, could potentially set themselves up for maybe a success. But let's not forget, so far, Rufflecopter were able to gain themselves more wins on... actually, yeah, on defense rather than on offense. So this is certainly a very favorable situation for them. They are going to get returned back to kids. The site that they were just able to defend in a very flashy manner, probably the only way to really describe it, and just blow it away from Ferox's hands. But it was still nonetheless a very close round, I still have to say. It felt like Ferox were just 1 or 2 frags away from winning it out, and be it a slightly different outcome in some of those gunfights, that would have been it pretty much for that night.
Yeah, I mean, so many rounds did come right down to that very final wire. You know, someone getting a double kill in a 1v2 situation, or just even situations where the round is down to 2v2 in a gunfight. Like you said, could change it entirely. But here we go. It's overtime, baby. No more excuses. No more worries. As it's now just get in there and get the job done. Ferox, they're so close. They were on match point for so long. Now they've got to work just as hard as Rufflecopter to get it done. Repix had a good round last time, but not quite good enough. He's going to have to try and enter the side. He'll be able to find his way in, but will very quickly meet some defenders.
Here's the cool thing here by Rufflecopter. They have decided to play a little bit more aggressive. They now have expanded their reach onto the trophy room, which could be a big thing to keep a hold of. But right now, oh, this is about to get pressured very quickly. Thankfully for Bodhi, he is able to fall back all the way back to the side, which does mean for Ferox, that's a very good foothold with minimal amount of effort really taken. And the breach is going to happen very early without any denial, so this is great beginning for them. But that's only the first part of the job.
Yeah, but Ferox are setting themselves up for victory with how quickly they are doing this one. They've opened it up, like you said. They've now got the angles to look on in. Shade can make the swings. We've seen him do it before. He can clear out the utility. You'll see him do it right now. But here is the important one, getting the kills. But he takes just a ton of damage, and that is it.
That is it indeed. No frag, no damage dealt to the defense, and well, Shade is certainly going to be left with pretty much nothing. There is a very aggressive play by Rigba, though, in the attic, like you pointed out, but won't be really netting anything apart from the fact that it's just going to keep Repix at bay, rather more so.
I was actually pointing at Campo. It's like miles away, actually, just below Nazgul as well.
Yeah.
So there is Deptra finding his shot onto Shade.
Ooh.
Just as we swap to him as well, but it just continues. Campo's found his victim in Repix now. But it is traded back, and Oda now sneaking on up. That Melusi trap is just going to completely give him away. Tries to predict anyone trying to peek out and shoot him, but here it comes. He knows that they're coming, but he peeks out anyway. And Nazgul will clean that one up. It's now 3v3 Cthulhu.
3v3 indeed. Now the main question is, how well can the attic be defended and rather prevented from making an entry? Right now, Deptra throwing in the gas grenade. Won't get blinded as well. Goes in for the swing. Cannot find a single frag. Maybe he could find some more later on, but that position is about to get completely traded out. There's the swing, gets the down, and can finish off with the shotgun. Nearly connects it to Nazgul, but downs him down to barely any health, although that's still the AK-12 present in the gunfight. OJ, last man standing, 18 seconds. Needs to prevent the plant to go down, but right now needs to go in for the swing because Nazgul is actually going in for the peek. Goes in for the swing onto Todd, but the F2 is a little bit better. And well, there we go. Ferox do manage to finally break the unfortunate loss streak.
Yeah, and just a series of trades throughout that round. You know, one person would get one kill and then it would be quickly traded back. There were a few freebies a little earlier on, which could have been a ticket in, but, you know, they were just eventually extended trades where someone else got a freebie on the other side, just on the other side of the map somewhere. But it does end up in Ferox taking the round, and now we go back to the basement, back to Laundry and Supply. And that Warden is showing up again. But is this a ruse? Is it a trick? Or is he going to stick around? What do Rufflecopter believe? What do we believe? It looks like he's going to stick around.
Yeah, he will be sticking around. Which, well, Nazgul did prove us previously that it's a really good pick overall and can really bring a fair few frags and keep on holding his position. So it's not a bad idea, although it still has me puzzled as to why not, well, any other operator, but it seems that maybe just the fact of the combination of being able to deny the flashbang effect and the smokes plus the 1.5 time MPX scope. Yeah, that's sounded like a pretty solid idea.
Yeah, I'm a little more on board with it because, of course, like we mentioned before, there's the Capital smoke bolts. You can also find a way to see through any smoke gas grenades if they come out as well, which is like a little helpful. Although, to be fair, the warden would need to survive to the end of the round, so Nazgul will have to make sure he focuses on that quite hard as one of the operators who's a little further pushed up compared to some of the other ones. But if he does make it to the end, that's another little bonus. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's very likely going to be picking him for the gun.
I mean, that's exactly what was happening when Doc used to have an ACOG. He was namely picked for the ACOG scope on the MP5, which did allow quite some good long-range engagement. So, and kind of the stims were a nice addition more so to the overall idea. So here, this might be the case as well. Nazgul is about to maybe get himself a nice frag, but already has lost his ballistic shield without being able to trade any damage for all the effort. So right now, this is a solid push beginning for Rufflecopter, but they do need to make sure that they get rid of that warden presence.
Oh, we actually got a lot of red pings coming out as well, so a lot of information now in the hands of Rufflecopter, but Ferox have been sending out those first gas grenades and, well, cut off any kind of push initially, but it didn't look like there was too much coming. It's really just Todd looking to force, for example, Rigba out forward rather than back, but actually that's just a really preemptive looking one. And as you can see, Nazgul using the smart glasses to move forward and see through the smoke, but doesn't find any kills just yet. So I see what they're trying to do with it.
This is one way to really do it. Another grenade, or another rather small fire arrow. Nazgul going for a double, actually connects a really good shot. Could be potentially contesting for the third kill. I am confused as to how that fire arrow hasn't really done any damage whilst he's swinging, because the man is already on a 20 bomb and hasn't been shut down a whole lot. Surely at this point Rigba expects to swing, because the moment that smart glass kicks in, this is going to be the end for the Capital player, because in a 5v2 with a minute remaining, not a whole lot of things can be done here. Shade already taking quite some damage. Not a whole lot of entry possibilities are being done. Finally, an entry into the building will be made, but at such a high cost, with losing 4 members of the attack. This is looking like Ferox are just about to win and make it all over Red Rover.
Yeah, he has got the diffuser, so if he gets all the frags, never mind. Don't worry, forget about it. Ferox win the round, win the map, and score themselves that lovely draw, keeping things still in reach in the top 5.
Indeed. There we go. Overtime was quick and sweet here for Ferox as they just put the foot down, pretty much shut it all down as well. Very interesting choice of Nazgul on the Warden as well, which I'm definitely going to be thinking over and studying maybe a little bit more later on. But yeah, that is, well, that's about all that there is for the Rufflecopter versus Ferox, as, well, this is a draw for them.
You got to feel a little bit for Rufflecopter, though. They were this close to getting a 2-0, basically securing their place, keeping them out of reach of anyone, but they don't get it. Everything's still in contention. It makes it way more exciting for us. you know, we get to see the battle for that first place. However, some of their contenders will have their own matches throughout this week and may sneak up on them. Of course, no one can actually overtake them because they are still technically 4 points ahead of anyone, except, of course, their opponents who have just played a match and won't play again this week.
Yeah.
So there's still some competition left, and that includes the teams playing after this break. It's Exto versus Shadownet after this one to see if Exto can score a 2-0 to compete for that top spot. Welcome back, everybody, to LPL Pro Season 3 Rainbow Six Siege. We are 1 game into the night so far. We've just seen a tied-up series by top-of-the-table clash. Both Ferox and, of course, Rufflecopter. Although Rufflecopter already had a pretty big lead in the leaderboard, so they will still retain that first place spot. But with that, Ferox actually technically a second and don't have to share the spot with anyone.
Yeah, they finally broken the tiebreaker here, between themselves, PC419 and Skyfire. But we have a new contender for that potential tiebreaker, I suppose, which is going to be Exto versus ShadowNet.
Yeah, so this one is going to be Exto, obviously looking for a quick 2-0 to shoot up the leaderboard. Currently, they are in 5th place, but only 1 point behind the top 4 to slip on in there. So 2-0 here would be, first off, expected, right?
Yes.
You know, we're favoriting these guys as getting the 2-0, so they should be looking in here to get in here and get business done. However, we've said that about ShadowNet the last few weeks. And well, they have shown us up. However, not proving us wrong, because they didn't get the win in the end, but they did make it a whole lot more competitive, taking it against, you know, Ferox, I think, was one of the big ones. PC419,
yes,
another big one. But look, ShadowNet might upset is the point I'm getting at here, and it only takes one map to really screw things over for Exto.
Yes, yeah. For Exto right now, they need to keep up their form. They had a bit of an unfortunate turn of events in their game against Skyfire, which unfortunately they weren't able to win out. But this is their prime time to really start scoring themselves. While ShadowNet were showing us some really good performances, unfortunately for ShadowNet, they weren't able to nab themselves any wins yet. Maybe here they just might be able to, given how shaky certain performances from Exto are. So we'll have to see how things will really work out here.
Yeah, so let's take a little bit of a deeper dive. Let's take a look at the lineups for both sides. It is your underdogs currently sitting without a win at ShadowNet, but they do look indeed very beautiful. Big thing here is that Levi is still sitting in here in place of Captain Minxie, who is still repairing her hand from an injury a few weeks ago. So Levi, however, has been very much impressing us.
Yeah, Levi has done some phenomenal job. Thanks to him, he was pretty much about to really win out one of the maps for ShadowNet against, I believe that was Ferox, which was a huge play. He was absolutely phenomenal on some Mozzie plays with the C4, so we might be expecting to see him perform, and maybe the rest of the squad as well. So we'll have to see how things will really work out here.
Yeah, well, let's take a look at who they have to take down. It is Exto Gaming. These guys looking to sneak into that top 4. And well, look, I'm always going to call Sawyer's face adorable when I see that photo. It is just the best thing ever.
Sure is, yeah. That whole roster is definitely quite powerful. I'm curious whether we shall be seeing Dark as well come around, because he is, as far as I'm getting, a sub/stand-in for the team. If not, please do correct me. Probably they will correct me in DMs. But look, that roster is still, it can be very powerful. Edpan, Oblivion, those two can be absolutely nuts. Jordy as a solo player is a phenomenal addition to the roster, and he can be an absolute menace on a G8. So things could certainly be turned around. But yeah, statistically, we would be thinking that, well, Exto are the favorites here.
Yeah, for sure. So let's zoom in one more time and take a look at that key player matchup. Like you said before, look, Levi being a big player for ShadowNet, but also Dark. It's a battle of the subs here in the featured player matchup. Levi's impressed us a lot, but so has Dark.
Yeah, Dark was absolutely nuts, dropping 21 frag in his last game, which was one of the record holders for the game. So things are certainly looking quite interesting between these two teams, although statistically they are in two very different positions here.
Yeah, so still a very uphill battle for, well, anyone on the ShadowNet side for sure. But one thing I did have a little think about over the weekend, Cthulhu. I was at Armageddon, right? And I did say this last week. I was going to go in and check out the ShadowNet booth, and a few of their players were there. I got to catch up with Minxie as well, and good to see them, talk to them. But the one thing I remember is Frost from ShadowNet, one of the support staff, is he?
Believe so.
Yeah, so he came up to me and almost violently shook me. It was like, stop caster cursing us. Every time you say we're going to do something good, we end up dying. And I thought about it, and I thought, well, you know, every time we say that you guys are not likely to win, you also start showing up. And he said, that's a very fair point. So, what do we do, Cthulhu? Do we start saying, oh yeah, ShadowNet have got this in the bag?
Look, I think at this point we just need to keep on stating the fact of what is actually happening in the map. Maybe they are winning, maybe they are losing. Well, for what it's worth, we just have to see how well they perform. They have been improving, that's for sure. that fact cannot be denied. So that's I think from here on it's all uphill for them.
Yeah, all right. Well, look, magical powers from the casters aside, we're not going to try and affect this game for the ShadowNet team because, look, remember that they are yet to pick up a win here. So they're going to be sitting in pretty much confirmed relegations, playing spoiler throughout the round robin, but also playing for glory, I think. You know, just speaking to the players in person, you get a different idea, right? You know the passion, and they do want to pick up a win here, regardless of the points, regardless of what it means. For Exto, though, well, look, you don't want to be, let's just say you don't want to be the team to give away the first win to a team 5 weeks deep into a round robin.
Yeah, certainly a few things could be really done here. A few upsets could be happening here as well by ShadowNet. But we also get to see as well which maps are going to be played for potential upset, because we also had a bit of a chat whilst we were on ad break about those certain maps, and that is going to be Clubhouse and Cafe. Now, the interesting part here is not the Clubhouse, because ShadowNet did toy around with Clubhouse during the Season 2, Season 3 as well. Unfortunately, couldn't really do a whole lot of things. But Cafe, now that is the map that Exto didn't really frequently pick, nor it was frequently picked against them. So this is where a few questions are coming out from me, namely how well can Exto perform on their map pick here, and two, how well can ShadowNet really adapt? Because I was saying that similar thing when ShadowNet was about to play Villa against Ferox. Yep. We haven't seen a whole lot of ShadowNet on Villa during Season 3, and they came out nearly winning out the overtime. It was a 7-8 loss for them. So here I'm almost expecting them to perform something here.
Well, for ShadowNet on Cafe, we haven't seen it so much on Season 3, but we did see it a lot in Season 2. They actually picked it up quite a lot, so it's kind of surprising then that Exto pick up this map here, because I wonder if they know that ShadowNet have played on it a lot, or I wonder if maybe because of that they pick it. They've seen what ShadowNet can do on Cafe, even if it was a whole season ago. Some things don't change. Some things either don't change or they stay very similar. So
see, the thing is though, ShadowNet's roster is a little bit different.
Not only
quite different. Yeah, they have seen the introduction of user as well to the roster. Levi has been, well, quote unquote, reintroduced. He was self-benched thanks to certain exams and other life commitments. So now he might be at a premise of potentially being reinstated back as a core player. He has fitted back into the team really well. Him, Lags are quite a very good dynamic duo. User has been performing really well. So this, while the map and the strats could be old, the way how the team can approach them could be absolutely different. So this is kind of where I'm kind of stuck, because on the one hand, you are right. They have played quite a fair bit of it during Season 2. Season 3, though, has been full of surprises from ShadowNet.
Yeah, but we can start talking about Clubhouse as well, because ShadowNet did pick this one up. They've obviously picked it up a lot. They're familiar on the map. A lot of teams really are. Clubhouse is a bit of a comfort pick for a lot of teams, definitely getting, and, well, ShadowNet seems to be no exception here. Picking it up against Exto, I think it's just a sign of just pick a map we know really well, see if we can take it to them, and go from there. We've also, seen Exto on Clubhouse a few times too, so you've also got all that information. Now, just an update, guys. Some server issues. That's why we haven't started the game yet. Trust us, we're not just holding it back for no reason. We're almost there. But before we get right into the game, though, Cthulhu, look, is there a world where ShadowNet come back into this? Maybe not 2-0, but do they take a map off of Exto? And which map would it be?
I actually think that even a 2-0 is a possibility here for ShadowNet. Given the fact how things were working out and how close ShadowNet were getting to some of the victories, I definitely can foresee a potential 2-0. Although the chances of it are slim. I'm not saying that it's like full-blown a given thing. They are quite slim, those chances, but it's chances nonetheless. For ShadowNet, though, to make a return and get out of relegations, that's a coin flip and a half.
Yeah, escaping relegations is all but impossible.
They can, though, get themselves a higher seed in the relegation bracket.
That's true.
If they are able to get themselves on the 7th point, or rather 7th position. So that can happen, but again, a whole lot of things need to really line up. A whole lot of games need to get in there, kind of go their way.
Some 2-0s have to happen.
Some 2-0s need to definitely happen. And a few 0-2s, or rather losses by the opponent teams, need to happen as well. So it's definitely not a possible thing that they can get out of the relegation bracket, but it's very possible that they might just be able to stick around and, well, maybe play for a higher seed and play for a few upsets here, which is also a very exciting thing to really think about, because not only we're already at a precipice that Exto might miss out entirely on the playoffs, comparative to them being able to make it in Season 2, Shadownet could really mess up quite a few lives, really, here.
Oh, yeah. Look, Shadownet taking a map off pretty much anyone at this point is going to be a pretty big deal. However, guys, just while we're sorting out the server issues, we are probably going to take a bit of a breather here, Cthulhu, and just wait for them to get into position. You guys don't want to see us talking for the next few minutes, so go grab yourself a drink, maybe make it a Red Bull, and see you guys in a few minutes. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen, Shadownet versus Exto Gaming. Let's go.
Let's go indeed. Good luck, have fun. Coming out from both of the teams, and well, first ban phase is going to be coming out from Exto, who will be starting things on the defense, and that is going to be an ace ban. They don't want that extra quick breaching to be done. Probably the next one could be a Thatcher, or maybe a Capitao ban, or maybe we're going to be seeing something wild out of Shadownet, but let's have a look. It is going to be Thatcher. Be banned. Fairly predictable. Ace and Thatcher ban is certainly going to make things a whole lot more interesting, but that also opens up the possibilities for a Maverick to be brought on board, as he will have quite a grand time to really play around with the breaches.
Yep, breaching problems, not going to be a thing. Just bring on that old Maverick, and you should be all good here on Clubhouse. But the defending bans will throw out a mirror, because that's a pretty normal one, and you know what? Let's not change it up.
Yeah, Mira certainly could be a big difference maker here, but, well, instead won't be seeing her at all. Up to the final ban. It could be quite a big, well, pool of banned operators, but instead we are going to be seeing a Maestro banned out instead of a Valkyrie like we've seen in the previous match. And, well, there we go. There's our 4 operators banned, and we'll not be seeing the light of the, well, the clubhouse, I suppose. And, pokechamp.com/GLHF. But yeah.
I wonder what happens when you go to that site. Don't actually go to that site, by the way, guys.
Yeah, please don't.
I wonder. I'm still curious though.
It's one of those that you don't. You're told not to go, but you're still kind of curious about it.
Well, no, I'm curious because I'm wondering if anyone's actually made a site for that. But who knows? Who knows? Clubhouse, round number 1 here. This is where we want Shadownet to come in with some surprises. It's usually on round 1 where they make it happen, so perhaps look out for a very quick attack. It's going to be Gym Bedroom as our first site here. And of course, you look over at Exto's lineup and they've got everything that they need. They've got the intel denial with the mute. They've got the extra intel itself with the Valkyrie. You don't need a Maestro for that one. You can get it done in other ways. And then of course, the double ADS players, you got the Jaeger and the OMI, who are going to be locking down all projectiles. We hate projectiles in this house.
All my homies hate projectiles at this point as well. It seems as, well, a solid lineup. What can I say? Oblivion bringing in the Valkyrie is going to be probably the biggest troublemaker, I would have to say, minus Mitchie's Jaeger and his ADSs. But I'm quite curious how will Valkyrie play her cards, because she can always play from down below with the C4s, especially with the support of the Valkyrie cameras, as it seems that one of them is actually going to be going onto the main staircase. So, a few things can be done here, and I'm curious how will the roam clear will go, because now that Oblivion has been spotted, he might be forced off his roam back to default onto the site.
Yeah, he's basically sprinting all the way back here, so we'll catch up with him and see where he does end up going. It's going to be the garage take, very likely first. If you are going to be Shadownet here, actually just running along the roof of it is going to be space. He can open up the castle back end if he really wants to, but does have Nova to do that. But Nova's on the other side here. He's going to be opening up CCTV. Basically, all the windows and all the walls going to be opening up just to get on inside.
Shadownet right now taking a little bit of a, almost a passive approach, really. Just trying to figure out where exactly do they want to apply the pressure. There is a mute jammer here, so it will be preventing any kind of breach attempt. There we go. Quick, cheeky breaching to be done by the user. Trying to get rid of all those barricades and slowly getting through. Now, there is a way to breach it differently, but I'm not too sure whether it's yet being regulated or not. But there we go. Wall patch has been opened up, so now it's down to Lags to actually get the opening going, but he will be still not too sure about that one just yet. Levi opening up the scoreline instead onto Soya. That is a phenomenal beginning. Now going to be making things a whole lot easier for Shadownet to take control of the site.
Yeah, and Levi gets to hang on out there. C4 is going to be chucked out, but it's in the wrong side. So Levi keeps his life and keeps his head. But now the breaches as well, also coming in and being finalized by Nova, who's shown up here. We've got Dark getting this entrance on lockdown, although almost turned right into his demise, but stays alive for now. How long he can hold it is going to be the question. Oblivion, he's all the way in the garage here, and he's going to run down through blue and make a pretty long rotation around there. Mitchie moving on up, seeing if he can hunt down anyone that's still around CCTV. There's a little drone on the shelf to his right, but he doesn't see it. That's okay.
Now here's the interesting thing. Actually, Exo are playing a bit of almost a passive game, really. They went for a few picks by Mitchie and Oblivion, but that was just about it, really. They're waiting for some kind of push, but it seems that Shadownet are also playing almost a game of chicken, although time is running and playing against them, so the push needs to happen. Dark holding an angle as the Womai in the logistics office and able to actually get his first down. That is Lags. Although in the safety of the window, still ready, 20 seconds remaining.
Yeah, but that's a few seconds now cut off by bringing him back up. And he comes back with barely any health as well. Use it now, just inching his way through. Needs to grab that diffuser as well. Hunts down Dark as well. But we've got to see Exto hold on the line right now. Shadownet pushing on in. It's just a trade. But look at where Mitchie is. He can hunt down the plant if he wants to. No, he's been shoved on out of the room. And Oblivion's so far away and hunted down too. But here's Mitchie. Gets one, but that's all he'll find as User shuts him down. They get the plant and they get the round as well.
Bit of a clincher there for Shadownet, gotta say. But fine push at the end, able to get the plant and the kill as well, in a very timely manner as well. Very nicely done. So yeah, there we go. Shadownet do score themselves their first point on Jim push, which admittedly got a little bit probably too close to the comfort zone, but nonetheless it felt like whenever Shadownet were going in for those swings, they were the ones in control of that pace. They were the ones rather peaking Exto, rather than Exto kind of trying to re-aggress back onto them. So, well done. That's all I gotta say. And, well, Church and Arsenal room will be the next point of defense. And, well, we'll just have to see whether Shadownet can keep up or whether this was almost a borderline fluke.
It did all come down to a lot during the rush at the end, but you do have to give props to players like Levi, who got a really good entry frag, just taking someone right out of the picture straight away. I think it was Sawyer on the castle, just taken away. So, props out to that guy, but a big rush from Shadownet at the end, executed nice and easily. A pretty good way to pick up round number one, but this is a very different sight down here in Church and Arsenal. A lot of what went wrong for Exto as well was, well, the Romans players like Oblivion, they got cut off so hard. You saw him running all the way back up. He had to go down through blue and then run up the stairs and obviously get caught there at the very end of the round. So, little rough for the man, but maybe this is where Exto can find a way back in. Maybe just not letting that one happen to them.
We get also a quick peek at the scoreline. User was able to score himself a nice quad kill in that first round, which did pretty much bring that up to Shadownet. Previously it was Levi who was pulling the weight. Now it seems that it could be the User show here.
He got 4 kills, wow.
4 kills. It seems that right now his main attention is going to be diverted more so to the breach of the dirt tunnel, and right now, oh, Jordy going in for the swing and does actually get User. Oh, bit of a trade though, as Dark also got traded out, but as a hard breacher for a roamer, that's quite a trade in favor of the defense, although the main job, well, the bare minimum job has been done. as the breach into the dirt tunnel.
Yeah, so at least people can get inside now. Lang's already cleared one shield, but he's looking to clear the actual human that placed it down there as well, but he's going to be holding down that line for quite a while. Levi getting the opening frag in the last round. He's looking for his own one in round 2 here, but he's hanging out in the kitchen crew, where we love to open up the hatch. So where is our hard breacher? We need space to come on in here. There's only Oblivion here. He's going to be looking for the impact trick and throws the first one out and does not get it. But Nova finds Oblivion as well through the floor. So disaster.
This is great because not only the impact trick has failed as well for Oblivion, he was completely peeked out by Nova with barely losing any health. So this is a good beginning here for Shannon. They might just be able to themselves that round, but not over yet. 3v4, only one man disadvantage for Exto, which they should be able to redeem in a short few moments, but we'll have to see if that's the case. Sawyer took a little bit of a damage from a frag grenade. The drop down might just happen, but there's still 50 seconds, so I would imagine a bit of a droning is warranted here by Shadownet. The push is nowhere yet to be seen, although some presence in the dirt tunnel.
Yeah, that's the real thing, is that they can go through the dirt tunnel, and with the amount of people they've taken out, they can draw the attention all over the place. Only 3 defenders for Exto. However, it's got to happen now. That's the first one down. Sawyer, the smoke is now out of here. Geordie with a real interesting little angle, but he has to avoid the flashbangs. And the drop down happens, but Geordie was ready for it. He's ready for more, but he's got to watch out the dirt tunnel. Mitchie's got that one on lockdown. As you can see, actually, he's looking down into blue, gets the first one, tries to finish it off. I guess the gun will do the job as well, but here's Levi, late to the party, and showing up to kill his teammate, and Geordie will punish him for that.
And so just able to claw out of Shadownet's hands that win, as that was so close for Shadownet to get the win, but unfortunately, a bit of a miscoordinated push does result in their loss there in the round. CCTV and Cash, though, will be the next site to push, as it seems that right now maybe Exto might be beginning their domination, although maybe a little bit too early to state that. Looking at their lineup, it's going to be a pretty good overall to just deny as much breaching as possible, as well as that the projectile denial is going to be in full swing, given that Jaeger and Womai are going to be present. Meanwhile, on the Shadownet side, plenty of breaching to be done and, well, plenty of utility to be brought on board. Jordy swapping over from a mute to a pulse will be certainly making the life of the bandit player a little bit tougher, but should definitely bring up the general info gathering game.
Yeah, and you've got Dark as well. We know he's a top fragger, so you can probably rely on him to do something like bandit tricking as well, even without the help of a mute. So Geordie, on that pulse, I mean, who knows what he's going to be able to find. We're going to have to check out his positioning, where he's going to be hunting that intel. There's also, what have they got? 2 C4, so basically just Oblivion, who can help him out with a C4 kill with his intel, but of course Dark, he's got a pretty, Oblivion, he's got a pretty big job hanging out here, doing the bandit tricking.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, that would be a very big thing for him to really ensure that he just does it right and gets the timing done. But doing it solo is certainly going to be quite a challenge for him to do. Interestingly enough, for the time being, just goes in for the reinforcement to just assist the teammates and maybe reinforce his later position for the fallback. And interestingly enough, no presence just yet by the wall. He just completely abandoned it and instead will rather just play it safe and maybe go for frags instead.
Yeah, actually that's fair. I mean, you're going against a Maverick, right? So the user's just going to melt through it anyway. But there's the first one, is Mitchie. Just grabs space out of here to start things off with, and that's the Habana now gone. And well, now you have to rely on user to open up any hard walls.
Yeah, well, breaching is starting to happen. User just enjoying the time swinging around on the rappel. This time actually doing it in a very safe manner without overexposing himself, so this should be a really good start here for him and for the breaching. But right now, just about to run out the second canister. Only gets 2 more, but he only needed a few more centimeters before the breach happens. So Nova is now going to be the one to go in for the breach. Eventually swing could have been done, but to no avail just yet. Now it's a bit of a stalemate here.
But yeah, and Nova's just going to have to back down. He knows that Lags has got his back as well. He can open up the wall pretty much whenever he's looking for. But
how did those two impact grenades actually fly through that soft wall?
The main wall?
Yeah, both those Zephyr charges have actually flew through it. They didn't fully explode on the wall, which is
it's a little awkward.
It is a little bit awkward. It does put quite a question mark there as well. But there's still a few ways for entry for Shadownet, so it's not the end of the world. Although it's definitely going to introduce a little bit of an issue for them further down the line, as right now they need to deal with Oblivion, who just took quite some damage from a grenade, but not just enough to force him out of his position.
Yeah. Oh no, Oblivion!
Oh, Nova. I even saw the man actually do a 360 spin before he threw that, so that is one way to finesse. He knew that that bandit is there. Ash is trying to find the shot onto Michi. They know exactly where he might be sitting around. Will be potentially ensuring that the Womaya will be kept at bay, and another frag grenade nearly finds Sawyer.
Oh, but User is found. That's the last hard breacher done. At least he's got his job finished and ready to go. The team can finish it off. But here it is, Minchi, his own job to finish, is holding down the rafters, and he's being stormed and won't even get one. He drops Levi down a little bit of health, but that is going to be all that he gets from that one. But the three members left from Shadownet have got to get past Sawyer. One runs by, but can anyone else get inside? Because Dark has got the main wall on lockdown as well. The Ash tries to rush, but straight into Sawyer's face. And Exto hold it down in the last moments of that round.
Yeah, that was quite a, unfortunately, mistimed push there by Shadownet, although they had a really good push onto the rafters, completely overwhelmed the Womai to the point where the bandit just couldn't even see or couldn't even figure out where to really shoot at whom to shoot. But for now, we are going to go back to Gym, the site that was won out by Shadownet, so potentially we might be looking at a draw here between the two teams, but that is very much uncertain given the way how Exto were able to defend in a very confident manner. Not dominant, but they were confident on their swings and on their peaks.
Not surprised to see the clash swapped away. Only kind of great against shield operators at this point in the meta ever since the last patch. But that said, Melusi, very strong, so bring her back in. New gun or not. You want those Melusi traps. So valuable, but here we are. Exto back into the lead. Took 2 rounds to get it done, but here they are. And now on Kid's bedroom as well. They're not opting to bring Castle onto this one, which is quite a common operator to bring along. Which could also have been to do with the 6-pick Dark shaking his head. Knows he messed up that barbed wire, but that's alright. That's alright, you know. You're a Jaeger. You got a lot to do during the prep phase.
5 seconds remaining.
Not even 3-speed anymore either.
Not even 3-speed at all, yeah. Although I don't think that really changed a whole lot for most of the Jaeger mains, given the fact that they just became a little bit chunkier and can take 1 extra bullet, I believe. Or, well, in certain instances, but apart from that, it didn't really change much. Probably the biggest nerf to the Jaeger was when he lost his ACOG, but I'm actually kind of thankful that he did lose that. Apart from that, Mitchie is just going to play around the cash room, not really aggress anywhere just yet, and instead, well, going to be seeing a breach into the construction site, which should be pretty easy to make an entrance, and that certainly will be forcing Mitchie to go in for an adjustment. That is, yeah, there's SMH my head from Guz as well, as that breach is actually a little bit scuffed there.
Yeah.
You won't be able to actually crouch through it. You can go prone through.
Yeah, give that a try.
But give that a try given the fact that there's MP5 aimed at that very breach.
Yeah, might not go so well for you, but yeah, a little bit rough there for the attacking side. Shadownet gonna have to find another way inside. That's 2 Havana charges used up though. That's super annoying, but hey, we're gonna be able to get Jacuzzi open eventually. Nova will just use the gun instead.
Bomb located by attackers.
Nova just missing the swings. Okay, yeah, he was just missing the swings. Okay.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Missing the swings finally does get the breach open, so we do have yet another point of entry. Jordy playing a very, should I say, a bit of a ballsy angle, gonna say, behind the ballistic shield that is positioned right on the bed. There's also positioned by the CCTV, but that doesn't matter. Jordy just gets a pixel peek and gets rid of lags pretty swiftly.
Oh, and Dark, you know he wants to hunt out this window, gets the swing out there, and there is his victim. Levi will fall just on the balcony as well. 3 attackers left. If you're ShadowNet right now, things are looking pretty grim, and only a minute remains.
Only a minute indeed. Already losing 2 of your big fraggers now. That is a huge impact. With Jordy about to swing, this could be huge. A frag grenade, or maybe just a full-blown swing actually could have been warranted. User finds another opening, this time on Sawyer, but space gets traded out by Dark once again. Now it's a 2v4. Melusi Gadget does reveal the position of one of them, and rightfully so will be netting Oblivion the frag. Now it's all down to User, who's starting to lose some health due to the smoking problems, and well, in a 1v4 situation, with 30 seconds remaining, not a whole lot of things can really be done. There's a swing, there's a kill at least for User onto Dark. 1v3 situation, but not for long. Jordy is there, and Jordy is hungry for some more frags.
Yeah, and this one, look, you just had Dark kind of free to do whatever he wanted on that round. He was just roaming the whole game, able to just easily clear out anyone on the balcony as well, even from inside the site as well. Exter was shooting back out, finding, I think, Levi at one point, or Nova, one of the two, just on the outside. So, look, sorry, it was Lags, not Nova. Finding those 2 players on the balcony just took away so much pressure. Not to mention, you know, the breach kind of being messed up as well. That is also a bit of a painful point if you are ShadowNet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the breach certainly did not help the general situation, so we might have to see if ShadowNet can make a return. Already at a 2-point disadvantage here is putting them at a bit of a peculiar situation because, well, this is their map pick, but it's been one of the kind of map picks where they still lose out quite a fair few rounds before they kind of get adapted to the general playstyle. So compare that to maybe some of their performances on Oregon or even Villa. I would actually almost advise out of picking Clubhouse at this point for ShadowNet.
Yeah, it seems to be like sometimes almost just doing the trick, almost. So that's the key word, is almost. They're just falling short a few rounds the last few weeks, and Clubhouse has been a part of that, but here it's looking like that might not be the case. Oblivion and Exto might just have that one a little bit on lockdown here, but they've already gotten a pretty solid half. 3 rounds on the defense so far, but they might be able to close it out even stronger. Jordy now sitting up here, not going to let anyone jump in here through either the CCTV, or is he going to hold the garage as well?
I will have to see. There is some presence by Dark, but hey, it looks like it just netted the right fruits here. Dark finding Jonathan Levi as well as that. Lags is gone thanks to Jordy. Just like that. 2 frags in a matter of 30 seconds.
And oh my word, this slows down ShadowNet entirely. You gotta wonder, can they even win this round? You don't have Levi, you don't have Lags, you're 2 entry fraggers. What are you gonna do? Swing around the corner with Big Fat Nova on the sledge? He's gonna hit someone with a hammer? Probably not gonna happen. So the best they can do here, maybe open up some hatches, something like this, get the shots through the floor, and pick them up for free. And the good news is, at least they have plenty of time to do it.
At the very least, there's that. Plus, there's only a single C4 remaining that is on Mitch, and he's nowhere near. So the breach is going to be quite successful. Not a single issue, really. Space Prism also finding the shot onto Jordy is going to shut things down just for a slight bit. And, well, the main issue here is just reclaiming some of that ground. Reclaiming the garage is certainly going to be an issue. The fact that Dark is still in an unknown position for ShadowNet is another thing. So it's definitely a bit of a gamble here as to where they're going to push. They do find Mitchie though, so now they know at the very least the general whereabouts of the Kayed, and not too sure whether the drones have spotted the Jaeger.
Yeah, they'll probably notice once they go to check that drone, but I mean, ShadowNet have got 2 people who are dead, so maybe someone is checking them pretty regularly, but Dark's position or general whereabouts should be roughly known by ShadowNet for now, but that time that I was talking about them having, they've used half of it now and not really made much more progress. You're really looking for kills from here. Nova has to get so much of the heavy lifting done, finding the kills from above. Still 2 frags, so absolutely possible for him to do so. And even User has his own frag, so here they come out. Oh no! Oh, I thought that landed next to him, but that's still a disaster.
Yeah,
losing out on that grenade and potentially about to lose out on one of your teammates. Space needs to be very much vigilant, but no, he's not. Dark finds one, gets a 2 as well. That's a triple overall for him, and Nova is nowhere near. That's a quad for Dark, just like that. Exto Gaming get themselves around 5 and their 4th point as well.
So, I mean, I've got to call it out here. Where was the call out on Dark? He just got to mow down 2 people. At least Nova looked like he knew what he was running into at that point, but yeah, look, Dark, perfect little position there. He managed to hunt them down. The first 2 victims looked like they weren't even able to pay attention to him because he snuck up on them so well. So look, big plays from the man on Exto, propels them into 4 wins on the half so far, looking to make it a 5-1 half at the end of this. And you got to imagine that Exto are maybe even looking to play around with this. You can see things like the Vigil being teased, whereas they do lock in the Malusi in the end, but you never know. You never know, like, are Exto going to start playing around in this and trying to show off?
Yeah, the big question for me here is how cheeky can Exto get, really? Because now that they have quite an advantage, they might be starting to go in and thinking, well, we got 3 points ahead. We got the advantage.
He's wearing his...
How many kind of runouts and maybe cheeky plays can we get away with before Shadownet is actually going to start proper responding?
Sorry, I'm still thinking about the fact you're wearing a notebook on your head. I turned around and he's just sitting there. Do you not have a bookmark? Is that your bookmark, your whole head?
Kinda is. I don't know where to really place it without like holding physically the notebook in my hands.
All right. Well, look. At least you got a pretty sweet unlock out of your pack. Beautiful little hat. I bet it's epic on that one. But here we go. Into the next round. Shadownet certainly need to pick them up now. Otherwise, it's going to be a very tough half on the defense. But maybe they can pull it back there. For now, it's going to be both Lags and User looking to open up the main wall into CCTV. User managed to do this pretty successfully and safely last time, but as you can see, those shots coming out, you never want to be too careful here. You could easily lose your Maverick's life. Ooh. Just almost like that.
That does give a little bit of a scare there to User as well, who will be quite thankful that he was able to run away with that. Oh, that's another C4. That, thankfully for him, doesn't explode. And I believe there might be now at this point only Steam Frag grenades. Jordy finds meanwhile a wild Levi who was trying to go for a roam clear, and well, that certainly rattles my notebook off my head.
Alright, well, main wall open, but without an Ash, things are going to be a little bit hard. You've also got Mitchie, who's still got control of the entire garage. He'll be alright for sure as well. Dark's still roaming around the place as well. That man is going to be a huge thorn in the side if we get to the end of the round, and Shadownet have not dealt with him. But for now, it's just going to be Exto Gaming, holding down the lines and waiting for Shadownet to move on in. They're even getting pinged out now as well. They know where they are too. Lags pretty much can't move from the spot, trying to find anyone he can on the inside, but it's really that Kayed over to the left he's looking for.
Lags is certainly trying to just find any kind of openings. Instead, it's User who does find the opening onto Jordy, gets a refrag for the fallen Ash main of Shadownet. That is Levi. Dark is still very much close by and around in hopes of trying to catch a few attackers off guard, and sure will. That's if Lags off board. User is about to go in for a swing, but doesn't expects him even more now with a flick onto the head. That is minus the Maverick as well. 4 versus 2 just like that, as Exto looking like they are about to pull a demolition here.
Yeah, and Dark, low health or not, now he gets to hang around and just haunt Shadownet for the remainder of the round. Nova doesn't know if he's behind him. Space doesn't know if he's behind him, but they have to face forwards and go for the push. They don't have time to worry about the Jaeger main running around behind them, so Nova looking for a swing. 2 frag grenades in his pocket, remember. Flashbang's also now coming out. It's now or never. He's looking for that one.
We'll get that landed actually in his face, but what also lands is the grenade. Nicely done. Oblivion nearly gets actually a pistol, a double kill, but instead only finds 1. All down to Mitchie and Dark to hold out the place for 2 more seconds as the timer is being run low. And well, there we go. There's the kill for Dark. to make it yet another round. A 5-1 scoreline to end the first half.
Can't hurt that much to have a flashbang land on your head. Was it a flashbang?
That was a
flashbang.
gas grenade.
Yeah, gas grenade.
Just smacking it right across it, nearly knocking out. Imagine if the UB actually added like the ability to knock out someone just briefly, just because you receive a direct impact to the face.
Isn't that pretty much Sledge though?
Yes.
And he just flat out.
Sledge is literally the incarnation of go to that prison, bonk.
Pretty much.
I'm not too sure if how PG-13 that meme is, but for those who know, you know. He's literally just a bonking meme.
Well, that doesn't knock you to the floor. I think that just flat out kills you.
And
Attackers need
depends
to
on
locate and defuse.
Yeah.
how hard you bonk.
That's true. if you put a little bit of Wheat Bix into it, you can get it straight off the bat. But I somehow don't think Sledge has Wheat Bix. No, poor guy.
Sledge at this point just chugs whiskey and just goes in for just whatever swings.
Well, maybe his hammer would kill every time if he ate some Wheat Bix.
Maybe. That said, though, Oblivion is still kind of sticking to a stable 1 KD at the very least, so there's that, I suppose. Dark is sitting, though, on a pretty 9-3 scoreline, same as Jordy, actually, as a matter of fact. Whereas ShadowNet, they in a bit of a situation for themselves. The only person that is currently on a positive KD is User, who we've been highlighting quite a fair few times. The man has been a phenomenal addition to the roster of ShadowNet, but unfortunately for ShadowNet as it is, just things have not been overall working out as much as I hate saying that. Frost will probably at me at this point on DMs or Twitter or whatever, but look, mate, it is what it is.
We'll just do what Frost said. Stop saying good things about ShadowNet, because then they die afterwards. So, ShadowNet totally gonna lose this round. There's no way X2 will get the win after this one, right? I mean, yeah, they're 5 rounds ahead. You know, Dark, he's been having a massive game, but surely he doesn't go in there and get some kills from above or the stairs. And surely Jordy, who's been having just as good a game, doesn't get the hatch open in the kitchen and gets all his frags from above.
We'll have to find out, because actually Dark getting all the frags, that is actually a very possible thing, given that he's on Ash right now and he could just go in and swing at everyone. Nova right now is in a powerful position where he could just either get the frags or deny the breach, so as long as he doesn't overexpose himself through those very cracks, he should be fine.
Oh no, Jordy. He loses his drone for that one, but immediately goes into put it out of its own misery, and perhaps any defenders that might be lying down there as well. First flash, he's got Dark down there to go for a swing as well, but Dark, first peek, looking out, seeing if there's anyone hanging out. Church sees one defender, but doesn't get any damage on them just yet. Actually, no, Lags did take a bit of damage, but still alive for now, but very much pinned down and can barely move out of his own position. His life might not be long, but it's all about how much time he can drain. These drones trying to flush him out as well. Mitchie down the other end. Dark on the other end as well. And Oblivion, he finds that frag he was looking for with the frag onto Lags.
Very nicely done. Good flush out as well. That is full control of the blue tunnel now established. Dark flicks in. Goes in for the frag onto Levi as well. That is now a 3 versus 5. Jordy took quite some damage. Potentially could be traded out, but right now, oh, Dark turns away at the worst possible moment. Takes quite a chunk of damage, even more so now, but the plant is starting to go down, so that's the main thing here for Jordy. Mitchie also finding the shot onto User. No longer he will be in the play, but Nova is here to maybe jam out a few more before going down. Nice double for him, but now in a 1v3 situation, not a whole lot of things can be done here. Another pixel angle for him to try to contest, which is borderline impossible to really win out. So many flashbangs being dumpstered there as well. Just try to force him out of those positions, and there we go. Jordy finally connects that headshot, and well, that's a match point here for Exo Gaming.
6-1. I mean, we did sort of expect this a little bit, and maybe the curse right at the start when we said, look, ShadowNet have been impressing us the last few weeks, unfortunately is taking effect here, as they are yet to pick up a round in so long right now. Exto are just so far ahead. I think this has actually been 6 rounds in a row, because round 1 was what ShadowNet won, so it's been a long time since they've picked up a win, but now they have an opportunity to try and find a way to make it work on defense.
Yes.
Don't be mean to coaches, you guys.
When even your own teammates roast you now, that is an oof there. Return from being bad. Now, so yeah, at this point you cannot hide the KD. The stats are there. But hey,
Defenders, protect your bombs
maybe
from
this
being
is
defused by
one way
attackers.
for him to keep up the reason why he's being picked as a coach.
Nah, guys. All right, just jump in there and vote him as your Red Bull fan vote, right? Make him feel better. Show the team that, you know, it's not the KD that gets you the fans' love. Or the team's love, apparently.
I don't think you made it to the team love at this point.
Yeah, it's all gone, isn't it?
Yeah, that whole thing is just now the whole match at this point I feel just turned into just roast soya.
10 seconds to go.
I
that
mean,
mean
a soy roast, that sounds
5 seconds.
A soy roast sounds kind of gross.
yeah.
A soya roast.
That sounds delicious.
Sounds kind of funny in this game that we're watching.
Sure is, but let's see if that roast will even motivate Soya to acquire some more frags. That's still very much under a large question mark. For now, though, it seems that Exto are just
Attackers bomb diffuser has been
potentially
dropped.
looking at rushing.
Attackers recovered the bomb
maybe?
diffuser.
Oh, never mind. There was stacking up initially before. That's cheeky drop off. Is like, here, you get to care about the diffuser instead of me. I don't want this at all.
Yeah.
Dark could potentially just go in for a few swings just to get some frags, but there's no room, so just gonna wait for the whole team to stop moving.
Pretty interesting that he's been given the diffuser, but I mean, look, if he can rush in and get a plant, sure, we'll take it. But let's see how that goes for him instead. Oblivion can always move in.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm feeling. No, all
A
right.
bit of a laggy there performance, but Oblivion is back into the realm of play, so should be fine. Siege servers acting up maybe a little bit, but
He's on maybe his last round. Just has to last that long.
yeah, it just has to last a little. Well, actually, only potentially last round for this
yeah.
map. He still needs to stay around for maybe about an hour or two before any more rest will be warranted. Yeah, at this point you can't really escape any kind of damage. Goes in for the swing, but just to cover himself to be able to cross back.
To be fair, he took like 5 damage. I think he's gonna be okay.
He'll be fine. It's just a flesh wound.
Exactly. Get right back on his feet. Now Lang's here. He got pinned down last time, but right now it's just from one angle. Space is there to back him up. The magnets can come out basically whenever he needs them as well. But as you can see, I think it was who we got, Dark, probably from the other side as well, looking to lock down Lags, like we saw last round. So keep an eye out as well. Geordie's now got his own opening into the church, and he is just trying to make sure no one has anywhere they can hide. Levi, well, he's got a spot to go ahead and drone.
Wait, that drone has not been destroyed at all. That is a huge amount of information being given away, but doesn't really help poor user as he gets taken down. A bit of a trade as well. Dark is already on site, going in. Goes in for a pistol swing. Does actually get the frag as well. Nearly has his head taken off, but oh! There's a down as well. Oblivion is down. Now it's all down to Michi and Jordy. Jordy is going in for the plant, and Nova is maybe about to go for the big game of play, because right now he might just get the flank going. No suspicion from Jordy at all, and oh, that is not a crouch hole. He needs to go in, and oh, bit of a oopsie there. Michi denies the frag, I suppose, from Oblivion, and now it's Michi down. Jordy is the last man standing, but right now Flick could be pretty much the end of it all. No! Nova clutches it. Fantastic play, and that is not going to be a 7-1 scoreline at all. Shadow Knight will stay for at least another round.
Defenders have disabled the bomb diffuser.
So that was a little bit wonky. That was a little bit weird. I feel like Nova is going to be totally stoked to score that round, don't get me wrong, and he certainly deserved it after getting the other 2 kills, but that team kill, man.
Yeah. Certainly could have saved the round for Exto, but I'm guessing they just, at this point, maybe memeing around for a short bit, just to maybe introduce some mental warfare, who knows?
Mental warfare of just handing the other team around. Is it? I'm not sure about that one, Chief, but hey, look, regardless, it gives ShadowNet maybe a window back in. They've stayed alive a round more, but still a very precarious position right now. 4 rounds in a row they'd need to win. And of course, this is the first round they've won in a long time, coming off the back of a 1v3? 2.5?
Yep.
2?
1v3 technically, yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah. Not sure if I count the third one as much, you know, but
Attackers
hey,
need
that's
to
all right.
locate and defuse
Let's
as
get
many
back
bombs as they
into
can.
the round here, as it's still Exto Gaming on match point, still keeping ShadowNet backs up against the wall, but they get to try CCTV this time once more. They've been pretty quick pushes from Exto, for sure. I mean, kind of expecting that, but this is one of those sides that you just take just a little bit slower.
Yeah, the CCTV side can either be swung upon very quickly, very swiftly, as demonstrated by some of the other teams previously, or it's a very slow take, similar to what we saw so far within this very matchup. So we'll have to see how things will really unravel here, because it seems that this is going to be as much of a standard hold as it can possibly be. It's more so just who will be able to click more heads more efficiently.
We are protected.
Liking the outside setup as well by user to keep as many grenades as possible as far away from him as possible. So for now, it's more so going to be the question: how quickly can Exto get the breach?
Yeah, they've managed to get it fairly quickly before. I mean, the Maverick makes it fairly easy. You do it along with the sledge, and just bonk the main wall.
Go to breaching jail.
What do we do, guys? Bonk. It's so.
Why is it so funny?
Because it's not a satisfying noise. Because you know when you're the sledge, you've obviously messed up. But to hear someone else do it, man, it feels good.
This is duh. I cannot breach.
But it's also like it makes the noise. Bonk.
C4. Place, so it could potentially catch an explosion to the face, but no, alas, nothing really happens. Oblivion is actually already in construction and could potentially catch a bullet to the head after he took already quite some punishment from Levi, I'm assuming. So right now, this is a bit of a peculiar situation. Fantastic swing by Levi will be ensuring the frag onto Oblivion now. So now it's Cash Room is becoming the house of the flying flashbangs.
Levi's got a C4. He could throw it over that wall through the hole. Maybe catch someone out.
That would be a Kobe and a half, though, if he's able to connect that. Because right now, a few of the frag grenades are starting to fly in as well. Lags took a minuscule amount of damage just to kind of just show us that he's taking some damage, as Dark is already going in for the swing.
Yeah, main wall coming out as well, but here's Dark trying to get control of the rafters. He gets shot from above. The moment he looks away, and User actually going to hunt down for this one too. Looking for Dark, looking for that frag to confirm it. About 1 minute left, and we've got to see Exto move in for the play pretty soon. Lags has had to fall back out of cash to red stairs, and now Dark, he's going to challenge the stairs, but no! User will stop that challenge before it even begins.
There we go. Jordy being down. Now it's down to Mitchie and Sawyer to try to recover from this position, but it's certainly not looking too likely here. ShadowNet need to keep up their composure here. Good hold so far, but they have been yoinked away from that round win. Jordy has been picked up as well, so right now, just need to keep up the pressure. User still is well and alive on the rafters, so this is a good setup here, but the push already is happening on the Cash Room, and potentially the plant is going to start.
Yeah, so Sawyer in a really tight little spot to go for this plant. Mitchie gets its kill, along with Jordy as well, while they're not looking. Now the diffuser is down. It might have been one trade back, but there's not a lot of health over for Exto Gaming, but now they can hang back and just long sight hold this diffuser. As you can see, they are not going to move an inch at this point. They know that it's all on the attackers to go in for the diffuser. They're hunting them down. They need to find them. There's the first one as Lags will drop. Can they get the last one? It's just User, but Sawyer and Jordy are both hunting around. Oh, User leaned the wrong way at the wrong time. And going through the door, he'll be taken out. And Exto, after that match point, score map 1.
Score they do. A 7-2 scoreline will be the end of Clubhouse. The map pick of ShadowNet, which does result in them unfortunately losing their own map pick. Now, they're still not out of this yet. They still can play for an upset here. But alas, already the first L is certainly quite an unfortunate outcome here for the underdog roster. 14 and 13 are the frags for Dark and Jordy. Well, that is quite a showcase by them, as at the very least Dark has proven that his position in the head-to-head matchup is definitely well warranted.
Oh yeah, he certainly belongs. But of course, we said ShadowNet just need to take one map to really consider this a victory and play spoiler for the round robin. However, they'll have their opportunity to do that after the break, because when we return, we're going to Cafe. Welcome back, everybody. We are still here with one more game to go. It's all on ShadowNet to try and upset one map against Exto. Otherwise, Exto are going to score the 2-0 Cthulu and move on and start challenging that top 5 and leaving ShadowNet in the dust. However, now we go to Cafe Dostoyevsky. And do we think that is going to change this series up at all?
Maybe. We could possibly see a closer matchup here between the two teams. Maybe not. We'll definitely have to see, because we were kind of, well, I was more so kind of toying around with the idea that ShadowNet could really play for an upset on their own map pick, but unfortunately for them it was a 7-2 only. And maybe Cafe will be something different, but the thing is though, between Exto and ShadowNet, neither of the teams have really played a whole lot of Cafe, so there's not a whole lot of technically quote-unquote research material between the two rosters. So maybe we could be seeing something different, or maybe it's just be a continuous kind of stomp like we just saw from Exto Gaming, where they managed to score themselves 6 rounds in a row and, well, not really care a single thing apart from just bonking the reinforced wall.
Yeah, there was at least one good bonk. Hopefully we get one of this one as well, because going to Cafe, right, both teams have not played it a whole lot this season.
Yes.
However, last season we did see quite a lot from ShadowNet. So they definitely have the same ideas. I know that Minxie, who's not playing, but you know, she writes all the plans of attack and defense for the team, whether she's playing or not, I believe. So you know, the ideas should still be there, and unless the plans have changed a huge amount since Season 2, then, well, Exto could be playing on a good amount of information. On the flip side, though, of course, you've also got ShadowNet, who should be a little bit practiced at this map after playing it quite a bit on ideally the same kind of plans, right? So, you know, we are reaching a little bit here for ways for ShadowNet to come back into this one, because, you know, at the end of the day, we're probably going to sit back and predict an Exto win.
Yeah, theoretically, well, not theoretically, already statistically and everything, all the ways are really currently pointing in favor of Exto Gaming, really. So far they've shown us a better game. They were able to retake a few sites much better and even claw away a few 2v4s and 2v5s. So, look, for ShadowNet, as much as we all would love a underdog story, things are certainly looking quite grim for them here. They might be able to play for a bit of an upset, but even then, that looks quite far-fetched, especially after what we saw on Clubhouse. So Cafe could be a bit of a could be a bit of a dark horse between the two teams, given that it's been a while since we've seen that map to be played by both of these teams. So maybe some different strats will be introduced, or maybe it's just going to be a full-on frag fest between the two teams, with most of the strats and the strat book itself being kind of thrown out into the window, given how literally hot right now it is in Auckland, and with the fact that Melbourne is just about to be opened up a little bit more and everyone would get on the beers.
Yeah, we can confirm getting on the beers is on the deal. But, of course, like we mentioned before, this is massive for Exto to pick up a win here. It's really just this series to throw away at this point after that performance after on Clubhouse. You can't imagine that they'd drop form after something like that. So, really, it's kind of like it was at the start of the series. Exto just come in here, get business done as usual, clear up the match, and then head out of here with a 2-0. Because for ShadowNet, 1 point, it's really not even going to save them from relegation at this point. They're still on 0 points. The closest and second last is actually 2 teams who are sitting on 4 each. So that's still like a 2-0 will get you 3 points. And so they're still all the way behind that. Maybe 1 point might make the difference, but the bigger thing, of course, is just going to be Exto wanting the 2-0. It's more important that they don't drop the ball on that one. And just an update, guys, we are waiting on one more player to get in the lobby. As soon as they're ready, we will be ordering our best mochachinos at Cafe Dostoyevsky. Although, actually, what would they... Do they have mochachinos over there? No, it's flat whites that only New Zealand has. Did you know that?
I didn't know that. Well,
Yeah.
now I know.
Yeah, I think maybe Australia has it, but if you go to the US or like England or something and go, oh, mate, can I get a flat white? They'll have no idea what you're talking about.
What are you saying to me?
a cup of tea.
Cup of tea.
Yeah, that's what you'll be looking for over there. But yeah, no, they don't know what flat whites are. So go ask for that and the mince and cheese pie, and they'll be so confused. They'll have no idea.
Look,
but this is not even an American cafe either.
It's not even, yeah. It's bang on, apparently bang on in the middle of Moscow, and well, we shall go check it straight away, as it is going to be Cafe Dostoevsky happening just about right now.
One flat white, please.
I know for a fact that they will be serving quite a fair bit of pastry because they have a fully dedicated bakery there. Sawyer, yeah, thank you for the update. Different human. Good luck, have fun indeed. First ban, it's Thatcher, coming out from Shadownet. Once again, just about the same ban as they did before. Now, coming out for Exto, I would imagine probably an Ace, maybe a Nomad or a Gridlock ban. Given that Nomad ban is actually a fairly popular one on Cafe, and there we go. Actually, will be banned out pretty swiftly and without a lot of hesitation. But look, a Nomad ban is it's definitely an upgrade for the defense, because not only you get a little bit more leeway to really roam around, you also will get a little bit of a safer really roam.
It also kind of makes sense for Exto, right? They just want to roam.
Yeah.
Like Dark has been doing amazingly, so why not keep him unlocked and just, something like Nomad that can slow him down, get it out of here.
There's still a possibility of a Jackal to be brought on board, or even a Lion. So not all is lost. Even Gridlock will do the job. So it's one of the possibilities. And funnily enough, the last ban is going to be on Melusi, as it seems like just Shadownet doesn't like Melusi, or don't want to really play with her at all.
No, I'm all about the Melusi bans, because a lot of teams play it pretty much every single round. So go ahead and ban it, throw them off, especially if you're comfortable playing a composition that doesn't need Melusi. So look, I like the bans. I like coming out. The question is, of course, what does it come at the cost of for your bans? And you take a look at the defensive side, right? They haven't pulled out anything too crazy. Like maybe a Valk ban could have come out, but you're still dealing with Melusi in place of it. So, always still things that are going to be annoying anyway. And there is our first Roma pick. It's going to be, of course, Shadownet first. But Vigil, can the man do anything else?
But Vigil is going to be a really good pick, although he will need to be very efficient about his roaming, given that Shadownet didn't really show us a whole lot of very aggressive or any kind of frag-heavy gameplays. They were mainly approaching some of the holds with more sort of idea of, can we just play with some of the more passive angles, or maybe for the crossfires, which could be a solution here. But the decision to bring in the Vigil is certainly stating completely otherwise. So maybe we shall be seeing a duo roam between Legs and Levi. I've said that before. This can be a very powerful duo, or better yet, Legs and User, with Levi kind of going on a solo roam. Levi was a very proficient Mozzie man, gotta say as well, back when it was a Villa versus, I believe, Ferox, and he was the man that was essentially carrying Shadownet to potential victory. So here, maybe he could do the same, or maybe he'll just get shut down by Exto, who knows.
Roam clear is going to have to be massive for Exto Gaming. Luckily, they have brought Dokkaebi, so they can flush some of them out. But of course, we just saw, you've got Levi and Lags both sitting up there right at the very top of the building. User is not even roaming very far off-site either, but he's still going to be kind of annoying, can fall back all over the place. You just kind of want to hunt him down, but Exto, are they going to be able to do so against three very scary roamers? Oblivion now holding down the line, but it's going to have to be so much on this intel, so much on this droning. But there's the first one, and it's from Nova actually on the Bandit. He's still firing through the wall and has to go and hide, but gets out for free. And that's the Dokkaebi.
And that's the Dokkaebi as well. That is the most proficient roam clearer as well out of that whole roster, out of the equation. With a very nice clean run out as well, might I add. So, and now, oh, Jordy goes in for the pre-fire. That is nice. That is a clean shot straight off, straight out of Bakery as well.
Yeah, beautiful little knowledge there for him to pull that one out. So at least they traded back to get vengeance for Sawyer's death, because it's going to be a real rough take now without that. They can't not only flush out these roamers, but the defenders as well. But here comes Lags. Levi's been taken out. That's one roamer, so it's all up to this man, Lags, to save this one for his team. Mitchie, oh man, what a drone. The yellow pings to come out and show exactly where he is as well. The C4, Kobe's over, but just a little bit too short. My man would have gotten in the hoop for sure. But hey, look, Lags, he's still hanging around. He's not quite roaming so far away from sight anymore, but now we know. Oh man, space. Nice little one through the needle hole, getting that one, but here's Dark. This man, but he's made enough noise to be seen and heard. Lags hunts him down.
Very nice swing there. Another swing, though, even harder by Mitchie and Jordy. Now does leave all down to User to try to do some plays here. Already full control of the site as well as that. Jordy, I believe, is just about to be on site. Actually tries to escape that engagement with the User and instead just makes a very quick entry onto the site. Plant will be pretty clean as the breach is just about to be done, and curious about that plant of the breaching charge.
Yeah, that's interesting. Probably just to create a completely new line of sight here. But look at User. He's already well above. Needs to use the stairs to get back down and doesn't even know if they're nearby or not. So he's going to be cautious this whole way down. And that slowness could easily get him killed. But of course, we can see Exto are so far back. They're just waiting by the diffuser, but he's used about 10 seconds already of just walking slowly compared to walking just straight towards the diffuser. But here's why he's being so careful so far. Already the first firefight concussed out of his mind, and only 10 seconds to get these frags. It's only going to take one for them to cut him down, though.
There we go. Good peak, good timing as well by Exto. Albeit a little bit wonky at the very beginning, but they were still able to come back very swiftly here. First point for themselves, once again. They are going to be taking the lead here. Barn Cocktail Lounge will be the next attempt at the defense, and right now, I mean, Shannon did a very good beginning there for themselves on the opening frags, but just anywhere after that, couldn't really find a whole lot of success, really.
And you can kind of see how much they're still valuing clearing the roamers by saying, hey, look, we want to bring Lion as well. The Dokkaebi didn't quite work out. I mean, we didn't really get to see a good chance at it. I don't think any logic bombs came out on round one, but
not at all.
Lion, for sure, he can definitely get back in there. Sawyer can just push the button, similar to when Dokkaebi can, so it's the same sort of deal. Just make sure he doesn't die kind of needlessly at the beginning, and then make sure that he can pop it off and find out where these roamers are. No vigil to hide from the Lion scan, by the way.
Well, you see, now that Sawyer has been kind of demoted to rather the coach slash analyst for Noble, he's trying to just find easier ways to just use the utility instead of holding the middle mouse button. He just needs to push it. So way less pressure on him, and way less chances that he will get roasted by his teammates. And maybe that will finally get him some kills in higher KD than 1 to 4.
Now they'll find a way to still be mean to him. They'll be like,
obviously they will find a way to be mean to him, but that just will maybe give us less of a chance to really roast him as well.
I suppose that's fair enough. But we saw how important it was going to be last time until he died straight away. So let's see if we can keep him alive on this Lion, going for the EE1D scan. You want to flush out Lags. You want to flush out potentially even Levi. He's roaming around on that Valkyrie. You never want to be caught out by a Valkyrie that's been roaming. Of course,
Tom gave us a very good example of that.
Yeah,
on Oregon.
Exactly. You can see how bad it can get, but I mean, even just one kill. I mean, Valkyrie's got the C4. It's got cameras everywhere, so it's always going to be a rough one. Ping behind the wall. So just going to send them on in as they know it's nice and safe, but they want to get down the barrier right in front of the white stairs.
I wonder why was that wall not reinforced into the minibar now. That is
oh, what a shot.
Avenue. And pre-fire as well, minus Nova. Oblivion just keeping on holding the left click. Doesn't even need to move his mouse a whole lot. Does discover, though, an opening, which he could bonk as well. And that could be a very good moment here for Yuzu as well to potentially net himself a frag.
Yeah, Yuzu very aware. He's got those barricades too, so he can spot them out like a mirror window, and well, they're going to have to swing on him, or at least get rid of that barricade. It's Dark as well. He's got that job on a lockdown. Did it actually connect? It did. And so it's going to have to be him retreating out of there. Lags soon as well. won't be able to stay here for much longer. Doesn't have really too many places to retreat to either, but Levi's on the hunt. We'll get back to him in just a moment. Nope, there it is. He doesn't want to wait for us. He finds Dark.
The wobs do come out as well for EE1D as Livin actually goes in for a very ballsy swing, but just cannot connect enough shots. User to go suit there and to get rid of him. We'll be putting Shannon at a very favorable position. Although Sawyer still can do things, so is Mitchie, it seems, as the man does find a shot until lags. The moment it seems that Shannon do get a favorable position, it just seems that Exto are able to just, well, exist and get some more frags, really, before the round ends.
Yeah, well, the round is going to end. They've got 40 seconds, so a 3v3 still takes a bit of coordination for sure. They've got to eventually flush Use out of this position as well. And they're running pretty dry on all their utility that remains. I think there's one E1D left. And then obviously the last few breaching charges now coming out. And smokes as well. So this should be the push now. Use are going to be locking it down. Mitchie as well. But eventually he's flushed out of there. Levi, though, we've been hunting for this guy. There's the E1D, and now he can move once more. Does he know where the plant is? I think he does. The C4 comes out, and they have to rush to the diffuser because you've got to imagine Levi's not going to let them get the frag. They get the diffuser. Can they go for the plant? Can he deny it? It looks like no will be the answer, and Exto will lock that one in.
I wonder how did Mitchie actually know exactly where to pre-fire through that smoke, because the Wamai's position has been completely covered up by the smoke grenade. And Mitchie was able to nail a headshot there, which has me a little bit puzzled there. But obviously I'm not going for any accusations, but I'm genuinely quite curious as to whether it was a calculated pre-fire or was it just off some information.
I think they just had his general position.
Possibly, yeah.
And,
because I didn't see a drone there, or rather, I don't think I saw a drone there. But either way, it is what it is for Shadownet. It's a 2-0 loss right now. Bayern Cocktail will be a retry, though, from the squad, as they might be thinking that there could be a possibility of redoing it in a better way, given that how close they actually got to winning out that round and stopping the defuse.
Yeah, credit where it's due. Levi almost certainly brought the round all the way back. I feel like there's definitely some worlds where he did win it. The timer was right on the very end. If he just denied the plant for like the right second, then he could have got it done. I mean, even getting one kill was great on that to survive to the very end. But like you said, it's going to be a retry. And hey, get out of the way! Get out of the way!
The door's stuck.
The door's stuck.
Please,
Smoke
beg
stuck.
you. Nova will be deciding to just get to reinforcing right now. And the same setup as it was before by Shadownet, which worked out for the most of it, but it was off the back of a few of the frags and a few mess-ups. I'm not sure what the Sawyer is laughing about. We'll have to see later on. Oh yeah, okay. Some inner joke that we missed out on about redoing something, but
it's probably just one of those things where the drone's dancing and the player's dancing and then the player kills the drone.
could be.
We love those.
We love to see those. Talking about loving to see those, Dark is potentially gonna love to see himself finding some more kills right now. He was one of the higher performing players in the previous map, so here he's been in a little bit of a slowdown, taking a bit of a step back, a bit of a chill period, as it is Mitchie so far playing on a 500 scoreline for himself.
Yeah, Mitchie's been having a real good round. 5 frags, no deaths. He's been doing real sweet so far. It's only been 2 rounds, so we have to do it to do a little bit more to keep it all up. But here we go, getting on inside through to the red stairs. We've got the wall open now. This time it's reinforced, but this time it's also going to be hit by the Selmas. But as we can see, there is a lot of destruction, a lot of line of sights here for Exto to play off. They've got some beautiful Maestro cams as well. Look at how much this one can see through the walls. Dark, though, has entered, and he's taken out the Wamai, and all he can say is nice shot.
Gotta give the respect where it's due, and that shot was definitely quite a nice one. Another frag as well. Nobody's playing with, I don't know, with his death at this point, because he was trying to use the Iron Sights SMG-11. Dark is just going on an absolute tear, and well, Jordy is the one to finish things off. This round started
or rather ended before it even started the general amount of action.
Yeah, certainly felt a little bit quick. I mean, we also saw that quite a lot of ShadowNet were grouped up throughout that round on the defense, so it kind of makes sense that if it's going to go well for Exo, then it's going to go well pretty quickly. But that is 3 rounds in a row, Cthulhu. Throughout the series, ShadowNet have picked up 2 rounds, and they were both on the last map, and it's been a while since we've seen that, so we've got to see something from ShadowNet put a stop to this. Maybe it's User on that Vigil, maybe it's Levi on the Valkyrie again, because that had a really good success rate in terms of his own performance, but is it going to be enough to pull the team over to a victory again?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe not really. We'll have to see. Right now, like you said, 3 rounds in a row lost. There's certainly quite an impact to the general morale potentially for ShadowNet. Levi, funnily enough, being the top fragger right now for his team, needs to needs to find some more frags. Really, same goes for actually the whole team, because they have been pretty much outgunned in the majority of the gunfights, which is quite an unfortunate thing, really. Maybe the fact that User has decided to bring in the Vigil once again could really help things out, but
10 seconds
as it stands, they will definitely need to get themselves 3 rounds in a row if they do want to keep out the competitive scoreline for themselves.
Yeah, I mean, last round they were sitting at the 1 and 6 position at one point, so ShadowNet, I mean, look, they're no strangers to these positions for sure, but that said, I wonder how many rounds they can take off Exo. At this point, it's just going to be all about that. User going for not quite a Hail Mary, but could have been a freebie, and I think that is the ticket back in for ShadowNet right now. It is these very do-or-die kind of players that either work out really well or don't really work out at all, and so those kind of players are what they're looking for. Sawyer, he's got this one angle just on lockdown, so all the way from outside, he's going to be completely safe to hold that one down. Surely we see ShadowNet back off a little bit, but Levi, is he going to be looking to do it again? Oh, they should surely hear that.
Levi is completely correct right now, just trying to find some sort of peaks, really. Meanwhile, Oblivion, upstairs, no presence whatsoever on the 2nd floor. At least I don't think there is any. And just going to be sitting there, posted up, and just waiting for the general push, because his position in the mining is going to be a very powerful one once the actual push and the pressure on the kitchen will commence.
Lags having the whole bar, trying to go for the pre-fires. His position now in trouble, and they might just look down right behind the bar and take him out. But it's ShadowNet actually to grab 2 kills and keep both players alive, albeit very, very low. Dark now on the hunt again. And here he is, it's User escaping from battle, but Dark, this is the man we were talking about, trying to find Levi behind the counter, but no, it's Mitchie to get Levi, actually. And Dark, oh man, he took a lot of damage in return.
Still some presence by Lags. Oh, doesn't really care about the lack of health. Dark is still able to flick right into the head. Equalizes the player count, but right now, funnily enough, both teams are on equal grounds. 1 player is very tagged and 2 players are still full health. Question of 58 seconds as to who will come out victorious. User finds the kill into Dark. This is a good beginning, and the ERC-7 will be able to save from the E1D scan. Now, on to finding Sawyer. This could be huge because neither of the 2 players of Exto are aware about the presence on the ground stairs, and well, there's the peak. Oh, a bit of whiffed shots, and right now a swing, and no! User, unfortunately for himself, cannot even get a single bit of damage there.
That was their way back in the round. They didn't know at all. Oh no, what a disaster. They can still find a way. There's not much time, so they're not out of this one just yet. Sawyer and Mitchie trying to find a way back in. Nova, he's changing his position up, but for the most part, he can sit still. The last EE1D to come out. Sawyer sprinting forwards. He's going to make a swing because he knows he needs to get in here soon and go for the plant. He can make it on just this other side if he needs to, but no, he's got trouble, and he has to eventually just go down for the plant. But he doesn't have time for that. ShadowNet on the defense, round number 4.
There we go. If User can't do it, it's Space Prison that will do it. Almost pull a Thanos there. And, well, exactly snapped 2 remaining players of Exto out of existence. Very nicely done as they do finally score themselves a point. 3-1 scoreline now. 2 more rounds remaining until we do go for a round swap. And Shannon, well, we're going to go to Bar and Cocktail Lounge. So the side that was so far probably the least favorite for them, but maybe this time, third time's the charm, maybe they will be able to make it right here.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's one of those ones where maybe a few small differences could have been all they need to take the round, and so I definitely agree with, you know, not changing anything up too much, just working on the execution instead. We saw a few last second six picks, so let's get a look at what